Hello, I'm Matt Mercer,
I'm Mike Teston.
and you're listening to the Horror Squad podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast, episode number 175. Tonight we're talking about The Queen of Black Magic, a 2021 release, currently streaming on Shudder. It's an Indonesian, demonic, ghostly, what's happening in this movie flick. So go check it out. We have an interview tacked onto this as well, if Steve would like to explain who they are.
Yeah, so we interviewed Matt Mercer and Mike Teston, who directed Dementia 2. Two really cool guys. They directed the movie in 30 days. Like, they went from concept to finished product in 30 days. Really great story about how it got made, the troubles that they faced getting it made, including one that was like really impressive how they handled it. So check it out at the end of the show, and we'll give our thoughts on Dementia 2 during the watch segment.
Very cool.
Yes, and I'll also be giving my thoughts on Dementia, which was directed by Mike Teston, just Mike Teston on the first one. But yeah, I watched it and prepped for Dementia Part 2, and yeah, very different. So I'm excited to talk about both of them.
Very nice. Steve, tell us about your grilling session tonight.
Yeah, just hitting up the barbecue. Just getting some chicken in and some asparagus.
Nice.
Should have had some mushrooms too, but
Grilled mushrooms, grilled asparagus.
yeah, it's just like that's what's in season right now, at least here. The corn comes up in like July, August, and looking forward to that too. But that's
weird
how,
because we have corn year round.
Yeah, so see, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know if that's a thing with you guys where our vegetables are seasonal, so you kind of have to rotate through. I mean, you can buy them, but they're super expensive because they import them from like California. So
Pesky Canadians.
$2.99. Yeah, it's like $2.99 for 6 of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I bought it at Costco, so it was like $6, but for a giant stack of them. So yeah, good times. It was good.
I'm anti-vegetable for the most part, I gotta admit.
Right.
I don't like many vegetables. I used to be like a very picky eater. I've gotten a little better in my adult years, but vegetables, I'm still like, I can do corn though, but asparagus and mushrooms, just, I think about it and just does not sound good to me.
Is this guy super constipated, Sam?
No, he always poops.
Jeez.
Asparagus is really good, but the only thing I don't like about it is that it makes your pee smell so weird the next day.
It does.
But it is good though. Put like some sea salt on it and garlic.
Did anyone actually do that with like friends? I always see that in movies and stuff where like they eat asparagus and like smell their pee and stuff like that.
You can smell your own. It's fine. You don't need to.
Don't need to smell. Yeah, you smell it while you're urinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's very obvious. It's
you know what's good on asparagus, Sam, is some little cheese.
Oh, I haven't tried
in the oven, and it like burns it kind of. It's very good.
That's what I like. Is like I like it to have a little bit of crisp.
Me too. Zucchini is actually good too if you can slice them really thin and you like fries. Have you done that?
Not zucchini fries, but I do put it in a skillet. It's really good.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Delicious.
What are you guys eating today? Anything good?
I'm hungry now.
Food talk. I had the classic fish and chips.
And I just had soup and a biscuit.
Like a plain biscuit? Like
yeah, it was just like a plain biscuit.
Put some butter on it at least?
I had Laughing Cow cheese on it.
Oh.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And I had chorizo burritos.
Nice.
Yum.
Yum.
I think Todd had the best meal.
I mean, grilling's always a plus.
I have burritos.
I love grilling.
I eat burritos like twice a week.
Do you?
Like no joke. Yeah. Well, yeah, because like I always make like a ton of hamburgers, so I always have leftovers for the next day. So I always eat. It's like literally every single week. It's probably like my favorite food besides pizza.
So Joe and Sam, do you guys ever eat the same thing like at the same time?
Sometimes we do, but not very often.
It depends. Like when we eat out, like we'll like split stuff, but like when we're like eating in, we always have like different meals.
Do you guys cook like a traditional dinner?
No,
not really.
Like, okay, I'm making chicken and mashed potatoes tonight. Or is it mostly like you guys fend for yourselves?
Fend for ourselves.
Fend for ourselves together. Usually it's more like breakfast that we make together and have.
Yeah. Or like if it's like a special like holiday or something, like Sam will make like a spread. She did that for Christmas this year and it was delicious. But we're more just kind of like quick, like just do something fast, like get it done with so we can sit on the couch and watch our shows.
Call that the 30s with no kids diet.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
Live it up.
Hell yeah. But also, I wanted to mention a big thank you to everyone who joined our live stream, our first ever Horror Squad live stream this week. It was a lot of fun. We did over on our YouTube channel now, the Horror Squad Podcast YouTube. Who knows what will come of that if we'll, maybe like I'll make a video here once in a while to upload on there or something, But yeah, there was a lot of great people in the chat. Thank you so much to everyone that joined.
Yeah, thank you so much. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. Could you tell it was our first one? If you have any other would you rather questions, send them my way for next time that we do a live stream.
That got pretty dirty, but thank you, Sam, for that.
Yeah, I got some ideas for the YouTube channel that I'll start thinking about and doing stuff. In fact, this episode 175 might be the first one that I actually upload to YouTube. So I have an idea. I'm going to try it out for a couple of weeks just to see kind of what's involved. But of putting the podcast on YouTube a week after they release, like in podcast form. And I'm not going to put the video because it makes it an editing nightmare. I just don't have the time for it. But I will put like different pictures about like what we're talking about. So like our food segment, I might put a couple food pics in there for you. And it also, when we talk about something, sometimes we say, oh, go check it out in the Discord. We'll drop the thing there. Well, you can see in video form this way as well. So I'll try it out. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't. But
oh my gosh, Steve, you're amazing. I was just thinking like just put it up with the logo and then they can just play it. Because if you really want the behind the scenes and all the photos, then you should join our Discord.
Yeah, and there's a ton of that. Our Discord's amazing. Like there's a lot of stuff going on the Discord. I
am still shocked at how successful our Discord's become. Like I really did not expect it to I thought like, oh, like it would be cool for like a couple weeks and everyone would just get bored of it and it would just like die off. But it's been like amazing. Like there's always people talking on there and just like, I got Rise Horror Corner Bash on A24 movies. I wanted to rip his head off yesterday.
Oh.
All right.
Drama alert.
No, there's always great stuff going on in there. And we really appreciate everybody. It's just such a great community over there.
Yeah, it's like a little horror family.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And that came up on our live stream that a lot of the people seem to be big horror fans, but don't have any like local horror friends. I know I'm almost in the same boat. I have one local horror friend, but I can't even see her. But if I could, it's fun to have like an outlet to talk horror with other people because most of the people in my life are not horror fans. So it's a great place. So check it out on Discord and just send any of us a message and we'll send you the link to that so you can join in as well. So you guys ready for some questions?
Let's do it.
All right. You can ask us those questions on that Discord, of course, or on any of our social media at the Horror Squad Podcast. Our first question comes to us from Goblin Parade. She asks, do you prefer aquatic horror or space horror? And what are some of your favorites that fall under those categories?
First of all,
that's a great question.
Great name. I think we've had a question from her before. Aquatic or space? That is tough. I mean, Alien is like the ultimate like space horror movie, obviously, if you consider it horror. I 100% consider it horror. I know some people don't. I feel like Sam's one of them.
That doesn't consider Alien horror?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've said that. I don't think that's true.
All right. I know some people don't. I 100% do. So I
think more people think Aliens isn't horror.
Yeah. That I can see.
Yeah, I can, but I think it is.
I think it is too. I guess I find space more interesting. So I'm gonna go space on this one.
Recommendation would be Alien for that, Joe?
I mean, that's too obvious.
Apollo
right?
18, maybe? Get some Apollo 18 love?
I didn't like Apollo 18. I'll I mean, no, I guess that wouldn't count because that would be.
Leprechaun in space.
Oh God, no.
Oh
Jason,
man.
Jason,
Jason
X,
X.
Event Horizon.
Are you rethinking your space?
I am
choice?
because now I'm thinking of like aliens that are underwater because then I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe
Mhm.
aquatic is better
I think it's better.
because you do have Jaws too. And then
Mhm.
I'm thinking of Underwater, which I think is an underrated horror movie from last year.
Yep. Okay, Joe, you talk too much. You're taking all of my
okay,
answers now.
Sorry. All right, go ahead.
I would say aquatic because I have more of a chance going into the ocean than I do ever going into space. It's more realistic. It's creepier and like more creature like. If we're doing aliens, like I like it. I like Cloverfield where the aliens come on Earth. Like just being out in space, even though it is scary to think of being out in space, it's just not as creepy as aquatic, I guess. But yeah, underwater was great. That's the one on top of my mind. It's very creature like. So that's my pick.
I'm with Sam though on it. It's aquatic horrors. Like you can go down the ocean. Unlike space, you can't really go to space unless you're Elon Musk or something. But I do love movies like Event Horizon's awesome. Demons in space, aliens like we mentioned. But I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but Jaws is one of the best horror movies of all time. And I was actually watching some deleted scenes from Jaws, and they're freaking terrifying, man. Some of the stills are great. So I guess I'll go aquatic.
Yeah, I agree. For some reason, I equate space to sci-fi, and if I'm bringing it to horror, with the exception of Event Horizon and Alien, I think of like the Sci-Fi Network and just really bad space films, like Dead Space, which I talked about on a What Watch, a couple months ago and stuff like that. They're just a lot of it's bad. So I would say my favorite's aquatic. But I think there's such an opportunity for people to use space that we're really not getting, and that's unfortunate. Because the thing about space is there's nowhere to go. Like you can't run away, you can't find a way out. You're kind of stuck in that spaceship that you're in, or so you actually have to deal with the problem rather than finding a way to escape, which I like a lot. But it's just not being utilized, I think, to its full potential, which kind of sucks. All right, so next question comes to us from horror fan Ryan. I find this remake, talking about the Queen of Black Magic, to be better than the original movie. What other remakes do you prefer over the original?
I haven't seen the original Queen of Black Magic, but now I'm definitely interested to go and check it out. Are you going to talk about tonight, Steve?
Yeah,
I know you watched
it's
it.
one of my What Watches. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that. I guess obviously The Thing I think is like the most obvious choice, even though some people don't consider it like a remake. I know it's kind of like maybe a reboot or something some people say, but I always consider it a remake. So that and The Fly I think are like the two ultimate remakes that are superior.
Hills Have Eyes. Oh, sorry, Sam.
Oh no, I was gonna say he wants to know what remake do we like better than the original. So I feel like I've talked about this not too long ago, but Todd was leading off with The Hills Have Eyes. That's a great one. And then I know people will disagree with me, but Last House on the Left, just because I saw the remake before the original, it's just so terrifying. And I don't know, I'm going to go with that one.
Todd, did you have another, or is Hills Have Eyes kind of yours?
Hills Have Eyes jumps out to me. I know a lot of people like the Dawn remake, but I think I love it as well. But
Right.
original,
that's a tough one to beat.
Yeah. But Hills Have Eyes it takes what the first one does and then just fucking amplifies it. So Hills remake.
Yeah, I agree with you guys on those. The one that I would say that's semi-controversial, I think, is Night of the Living Dead. I think the original is more important to cinema and amazing, but I think if I'm comparing them, like which one's the better film, I would say the remake is better in that Savini took kind of what didn't work from the original and made it better. For example, Barbara, just that alone.
I was gonna say, you just like Patricia better.
Patricia Tallman,
dirty dog.
I do, but she's also like not just a complete wimp, for the whole movie. So that's a big plus in the other one, and just the zombies and all the overall quality, I think, is better. But yeah, all the other ones that you guys said, I think, are the same as well. There are a lot of great remakes, but that's one that's better. On tonight, I'm gonna say right now, the Queen of Black Magic remake is way better than the original. So that's definitely one you guys should check out. So next question comes to us from Captain Amazing 85. That's Chuck. So what is the food pairing for this one?
God dang it. I need to remind myself to think of these. Okay, let's see. Black magic. Okay. How about maybe like some green I'm really reaching here. How about some green apples with dyed corn syrup to dip the apples in, since one of the characters eats a little apple, then she stabs herself. I don't know. Can you guys think of anything? I'm trying to think and maybe some little centipede gummy
Ugh.
candy.
Ooh, yeah. I love
Gummy
it.
worms. So gross.
First thing that came into my mind was like Pop Rocks, because like I don't know, it's just like magic and like cackling and
Oh,
stuff.
I love
and
that.
so,
Yeah.
Mhm. Maybe throw some Pop Rocks in your drink, you go or something.
I was thinking some chow mein to keep the noodle
Oh,
theme
yeah.
going.
All
I
right.
gotta tell you that I was eating a freaking tuna sandwich during the scene where the centipede's going into her mouth and she starts choking. I was like,
Mhm.
"Hey." That was rough.
Yeah, and I'm always I'm a huge fan of Asian food, cuisine, so I love
Mhm.
Asian food. So anything Asian.
It's so good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever specifically had Indonesian food, as far as I know, but that's definitely something I'd like to try. I don't know if they have anything that's vastly different from.
Their spread looked pretty good on
I'm
the
not
on the
sure.
table.
It did, absolutely, yeah, it did. That'd be awesome. His next question: what religion needs to be explored in horror?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I know Steve watched one about the Hasidic Jews, right? This
Mhm,
year.
I did.
I know you weren't a fan of it, but I keep seeing people like recommended it. So I definitely want to check it out. And form my own opinion on that one. So what's that one called, Steve? Do you remember?
Was it Sun? I don't remember.
Not Sun, no.
No.
I can't remember.
Let me check my list
But
here.
that one I definitely want to check out.
Oh, The Vigil.
The Vigil, yeah. So I definitely think like maybe more like Jewish horror movies dealing with that religion could definitely be interesting. And maybe I don't know. Maybe like I don't know. I'll just go with that. I can't think of it.
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but I'll say maybe like a movie about Jehovah Witnesses going up to a house, and maybe either they go to the wrong house to where the people like keep them in there, or maybe they do like a home invasion kind of thing. Weird fact is I studied a little bit to become a Jehovah's Witness in high school. It was very interesting. Obviously when I heard that you couldn't celebrate Halloween, I was like, oh, I'm out. See ya.
Right before you signed the paper, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, and
What's
then
this?
like some of my friends, they would always come. They were like my church friends. They would come to like my door to give me the monthly magazines or whatever, and it would be October and I just had Halloween decor on my porch, and they would always judge me. I'm like, look guys, I'm doing the best that I can, okay?
What about some like Muslim horror? Because I know they probably have some like crazy legends and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, let's do some. Is that the right term, Muslim?
I'm not sure. I'm not too
Muslims, yeah, it's correct.
Muslims.
Mhm.
What's that?
Doesn't sound right though, because like you would refer to Catholics as
Um,
Catholics, right? But I guess Muslims. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about.
I could be wrong, but
I'm
wasn't
not sure.
that one we did, Todd? A girl walks home alone at night. Wasn't that like? Wasn't she like a
that was-
Muslim?
that-
Was she a Muslim
yeah.
woman? I know she wore a hijab.
It was supposed to be in
Or is that
Iran.
what it's called?
Yeah, it's supposed to
Iran,
be in
yeah,
Iran,
yeah.
but it was filmed in like Southern California. That doesn't count.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, that was Iranian.
I could be wrong, but I think Muslim is akin to Christian, whereas Catholic would be akin to like Islamic or something like that. I think it's like a subset
okay.
of.
Gotcha.
I think I could be totally wrong, but
Yeah.
and just for Joe for the Vigil, the best part of that movie was to learn about kind of that religion and that culture and stuff, which is
Mhm.
by far the best part of that movie. It just gets goofy, unfortunately, midway through. But for me, I'd say Scientology. So the first time I moved out of my out of my parents' house into an apartment, the people who lived there previously were Scientologists, and they kept sending like mail and letters and stuff and magazines to the apartment that I was at. So I just read them, before sending them back, and it was super fascinating. So I'd love to see a Scientologist horror film like about Scientologists, not something written by L. Ron Hubbard or anything like that.
That'd
It's a
be
great
pretty cool.
idea, Steve.
Yeah, I love that. Although not Scientology, I feel like 1BR is like the closest thing to like a Scientology horror movie you can get. So if anyone hasn't seen that, it was, I believe, streaming on Netflix. I'm not sure if it still is, but
I think that one was on Hulu.
or
One of
Hulu,
those.
yeah,
Yeah,
one of
one
the
of those.
streaming. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Sam would really like that one. I think she should check it out.
I agree.
I should. Can I share another fact with you guys?
Of course.
So the job that I currently have, so now Scientologists do a thing of where they come up and create these business models of where it's like practice management. And the job that I work for signed up for a practice management course, then it's turned into like a few year type of thing, but it's ran by Scientologists, and my boss doesn't like get it. And they go to different conferences all in Florida. No offense, Florida, but that's like the Scientology capital of the world. Well, I guess it's California too. I think that's where the main one is. But anyway, so they charge like thousands and thousands of dollars for these courses that you can literally just learn the stuff by Googling it. And my boss always wants me to go to one of the conferences. I went to one in Mexico and I really didn't want to go. And like she forced me, and it was just like a bad situation. But anyways, it's like $12,000 to go on this conference. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's just crazy how they can spend anything. And it's so sad. No offense if anyone's a Scientologist listening to this, but it's just so bizarre. And I feel so bad for people who get wrapped up into it. It's like they're just looking, it's like MLM people, but that's just my opinion. So
Yeah. I learned a lot about that religion when I was reading their magazines, and it's fucking fascinating.
Oh yeah,
It's something.
all the documentaries they put out are so interesting on that. It's great.
It's a whole thing. Trust me.
I was obsessed with the Leah Remini show when it first like aired. I haven't watched it
I
in forever,
loved
but
that
yeah.
show.
All right. So Chuck's last question: what comedy movie would you turn into a horror movie? For him, it would be Weekend at Bernie's.
I love it. I loved Weekend. I loved both the
Me too.
original. The sequel too. Which I haven't seen. Fun fact: I actually good friends from That Strange Show. At God, I can't remember what con it was. Now it might have been Scaric. No, it wasn't Scaricon. It might have been. But they invited me to the Terry KISER panel, and I got to sit on the panel. And we got to do the Q&A with Terry KISER, who is Bernie, of course, from Weekend at Bernie's. So that was really cool. Although he really didn't answer any of our questions. We would like ask him a question, then he'd just go off on like a half-hour tangent on just whatever the hell he wanted. So we tried asking him, because which Todd will knows best. What Friday the 13th is he in, Todd, Terry KISER? He's in one of them. Do you know offhand?
Oh shoot, I don't.
Okay.
Not sure.
Well,
I can Google it.
all right. So the question was comedy we like
Turning a comedy into a horror.
Okay. All right. I don't got anything right now.
I'm gonna go with Mean Girls.
Oh.
That'd
Do
be
you
good.
have any idea?
I mean, it would just be the same premise of Mean Girls, but they're trying to kill each other and actually poison each other, not just making you gain
Girls.
a few. Yes, not making you just gain a few pounds, like poisoning you so you die.
I feel like that'd be like some of like Jawbreaker, sort of.
Well, that was an accident.
It was, yeah.
They didn't mean to kill Liz.
Mhm. Okay.
I really can't think of one that would off the top of my head right now. I apologize. I like your iced coffee though, Sam. Another note.
Thanks. I'm double fisting. Is that what the kids call it?
Oh my God.
Jeez.
I have
You'll
an
be up for
energy drink
five
and
hours.
coffee.
Like your heart's going to explode.
Terry KISER, by the way, was in part 7.
Okay.
New blood.
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. So for me, one of my big complaints in the last year, I'd say, is that too many animals are getting killed in the horror movies that we watch. So I would like to see a horror Ace Ventura, where every time someone like abuses an animal, he goes after him with animals and like just murders the shit out of him, and it just becomes an animal revenge film,
So like Dexter, Ace Ventura crossover kind of thing.
Exactly. But he uses the animals to do his murders,
I love it.
You like revenge. Kicking dogs? And
right, get the shih tzu back after him. Yeah, that's it.
So I'm kind of like cheating because I know that this was made like into a trailer for a horror movie, but Mrs. Doubtfire could definitely be a horror movie if he like snaps after his divorce and like he has like more sinister intentions and he's like really creepy about like getting into the drag and stuff like that, and he like goes out and like starts like picking up men or something like that and killing them and shit. So yeah, let's go with that.
It's a great one. It reminds me of the best one I think I've ever seen of those is Mary Poppins. They call it Scary Mary. That fucking amazing trailer.
What did they show? What would make it scary?
They take Mary Poppins, like the movie, they just darken it a little bit and change just cut it with the music to make it look like a horror film. I'll send you the link. It's fucking terrifying.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I totally see that movie. All right. So next question comes to us from Creepy Kate. She says, my partner and I just moved in with 3 roommates. What are your favorite horror films to watch in a group?
Joe will have plenty of answers for you.
Will I?
Yeah, because every movie you're like, this would be a really fun one if you have a few people over and you have some drinks with it.
It's
usually
true.
It's the worst movies, right?
Joe's totally Gabe.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually like the cheesy, goofy movies I feel like are best in those situations. So yeah, I mean, Psycho Gorman is like the first one that kind of popped into my head. It's because it was one I saw recently. Willy's Wonderland, of course, too. Banana Splits movie. As far as like all the like newer ones that you can check out. So yeah, I'll throw those ones out.
I don't really know. I
Dead
can't
Alive.
think of any different ones.
Dead Alive is a great one too. If you want to go more
Night
classic.
of the Demons would be fun.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just for all the Stooge one-liners.
Mm-hmm.
What other ones have really good one-liners you can
I
get
feel
behind?
like Final Destination would be fun.
Yeah, totally.
I think Greasy Strangler, man, because you could see everyone's reactions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Steve, you ended up boarding that, right?
I did.
Oh my gosh, I really hope you
Oh my
like it.
gosh, I can't
I
wait.
ordered it when we did the live stream, so
I think he's gonna hate it, but I hope he likes
I have
it.
hope. I think he'll cherish it for the gem that it is.
I mean, he's watching all the freaking
I'm watching all
Evil
the
Barbie
Bombs.
and Kendra
Yeah.
save the world. So
I think you just got to be in the right mindset for it. That's like a huge important factor, I think. So
yeah, I mean, it could be hit and miss with me. I could really love it, like I could really hate it. It really, like Psycho Gorman, for example. Had they had a better child in it, I think it would have been like up 2 points. So that's it. It just depends on the movie, I think. So I'm really looking forward to watching it. But I agree with you guys. I think something that's kind of more goofy or ultra violent or stuff like that, I think is definitely the best pick to do with a group. Like all the Charles Band stuff, it's pretty bad, but I think it'd be more fun in a party than alone on my laptop.
Yeah.
So that's definitely yeah.
Just like there's some movies you shouldn't like watch in a group, right? Like I would say like any A24 movie, like The Witch or like those are just not movies that are meant to be watched in groups. So
yeah, absolutely. All right. Next question comes to us from Weezer Face, which, by the way, happy belated birthday to Weezer Face. It was their birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
So
I saw that they made like a pumpkin pie, some kind of pumpkin cake. Maybe the frosting
pumpkin
was
cake.
Yeah, it looked so good.
It did.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
And she had like a movie binge. I saw she watched like Trick or Treat and a few others. So very fun.
Absolutely. That's the best way to spend your birthday.
Do you
really.
guys? Yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys have like a movie like thing you watch on your birthday? Is that like a thing anyone else does, or?
Well, I haven't been home for my birthday other than last year in like a decade because it happens to be when I go to Halloween Horror Nights every year. So I'm always either at Disney or Universal on my birthday. But if I were home, I'd probably like have a movie night, and I'd probably watch Dawn of the Dead if I'm being completely honest with you. That's
Eat some shawarma.
yeah, shawarma.
Shawarma, whatever it's called.
Right. Yeah. So Weezerface asks, when does a serial killer movie go from thriller to horror?
That's a good question. I don't know. I
feel
guess like super gory. Sorry, go ahead, Tim.
No, sorry. I was just going to say that too. Like, I feel like when you can see the kills, I think.
Yeah, I think it depends whose perspective the movie is from. If it has enough of the perspective of the killer, then I think it turns more towards horror. Whereas if it's more of the cops chasing the killer, it would be closer to a thriller, I think.
So where's the balance in Silence of the Lambs? You kind of get both of that, right?
I put horror because you do see a lot of the, like in Buffalo Bill, you see a lot of. So same with Seven, like you see the kills in such detail that I would consider it more horror than. It's also a subset of horror, really thriller.
Right.
So.
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna ask, like, is there one? I'm trying to think of one that you wouldn't consider horror. Like, is there any you guys could?
Well,
think
you
of?
guys were borderline on.
Yeah, that one with Denzel Washington and Jared Leto.
Oh yeah, that I would say definitely
I
is
haven't seen
not
that one yet.
horror.
I can't remember what it's called.
The Ted Bundy one was.
That's the one I was thinking about. You guys have been on the fence for.
Because you don't. The kills were almost like an afterthought. Like we didn't really see him kill anyone. It was more about his like his trial and him trying to get out of being accused. So
yeah, the little things.
The little things. Yeah,
that's the one we were talking about. Yeah, but yeah, I agree with that. The Dark and the was that one called? No, Wicked Little Things. No, what the fuck is that one called? The Zac Efron one.
Oh, crap, that had a long ass name. I don't remember.
It did. Oh, Extreme
Evil.
Yeah,
Extremely Evil, something like that.
Right. Yeah, that one's like right on the line. I would say probably more not horror on that one.
Well, you were wrong.
Fine.
Next question.
All right. Next question from Kayla. Okay, so she was on our live stream and she asked it on the live stream, but she wants to ask it kind of on the podcast. So Todd, what did you buy with the trivia winnings from last year? And what will you buy with the more recent trivia winnings for this year?
She just asked us again so Sam and me can get more shit for not paying Todd right
we
away.
paid.
We did pay though, yep.
Hey, you hosts speak when spoken to. Hold on.
Come on, Todd.
So Sam and Joe paid up after the peer pressure of the live stream. So thank you, Justice for Todd 2021.
Mm-hmm.
What did I buy with Steve's? I got
and then what you're getting with theirs. Yeah.
I got this place called Umbrella out of Australia. It puts out some nice special edition Blu-rays. So I got a Day of the Dead one from them. And it was Steve's money. And then with Sam and Joe's, I was actually looking on eBay right now. Well, not right now, but earlier tonight. Just going to pad out the horror collection. I think I'm going to get Crawl maybe. I don't have that one on Blu-ray yet. And just probably a bunch of movies. So yeah.
Well, I know a good thing you could do with it. Head over to our T Public site, everyone, and buy some Horror Squad merch.
Give it right back.
Yeah, and don't forget while you're there, when you do get something from T Public for the Horror Squad, take a picture, put it on any of our social medias, and I will put you in a contest for a box. I started filling that box today, and it's going to have a lot of cool stuff. So
yes,
definitely don't want to miss out on that.
How long is that going to go till, Steve?
Until our until the early July when we do our 1990 top 10.
Nice. Okay.
So that's the episode that I'm gonna pull the winner for that, which is like first second week of July.
I still want to do our 90s dress up.
Yes.
I like that idea.
I'm totally down.
Yeah,
I was
like it.
serious about that.
I was
I
thinking
thought
about it the other day.
I thought you guys were just entertaining me.
No, I
But
like
you have
it.
to dress like you were that age though for your favorite movie. So if it's 1990, what were you wearing in the 90s? Like
Yeah, exactly.
3 years old or 4 years old, whatever it is.
I was just gonna dress like I was just gonna dress like a '90s like horror movie character, but I guess I can do that.
Yeah,
Well, you can
that
do
would
that.
be
You
fun
can do that
too.
too. You can do
Yeah,
whatever you
alright,
want,
cool.
As long as it has to do with the 90s horror.
All right,
gotta
very
get some
cool.
big ass oversized jeans. I'll just dress up as
Alrighty.
Fred Durst.
Right.
Ooh,
exactly.
oh, that's a good,
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. Get your
Come
Janko
on.
jeans.
Maybe I'll bleach my hair.
Yes, do
yeah.
it.
Oh my God, I'm gonna dye my hair blonde and like spike it and wear my a puka
Right.
shell. I love it.
Was Eminem 90s or 2000s?
Late 90s
Late
is when
Was
he
he?
first
Yeah.
came
Maybe
out.
I'll buzz it and bleach it.
He got more popular in
Ooh.
the 2000s, but he started in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like that was it was like 99. It was like right at the tail end of the
Yeah,
movie.
it was right at the tail
Yeah.
end of it.
My name is.
Ooh, what?
I thought he was so cute on that album. Remember, I got that CD from Walmart.
But right.
Wow.
Yeah,
Super
and that.
fun.
So just Mandy sent some questions in to my work email, and I forgot to write them down.
Oh, no.
Sorry,
Are you
Mandy.
guys surviving without each other at work?
It sucks. Like
Aw,
it's just
bummer.
something funny happens in a meeting, and I have like no one. To
You look
talk
around?
about. Yeah,
That's the worst.
it's
You
like-
gotta find a new work friend, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do
I'm
gotta
kind
find
of
a
like,
new one.
hey, guess what happened at the meeting today? And it's just not the same.
Yeah. My
Trying to-
work friend's last day was yesterday.
Oh no.
And I'm like, But-
Aw.
well. Is that all the questions? I have one, Steve.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead. That was all the questions I had.
Okay. This is from Jedi Mind, Mondo, friend of the show. So, if you guys consider Jason a zombie, what's Michael? Question mark.
Joe and I had this conversation because with the whole Jason thing being a zombie and all of that stuff. So
Michael is the epitome of evil. He's just pure evil.
He's
Like,
evil.
evil in like human form, basically.
but not like evil, like, because I was asking Joe, I was like, so do you think it's like evil possession, or it's just like he grew up with no kind of love or anything like that? So all he knows is evil, I guess.
He's like, I always took him as like he's a manifestation of like evil, like on Earth.
Yeah, but are we talking about only original Michael? Or are we talking about?
Let's do
Rob
only
Zombie.
original.
I mean, the retcon in that whole series is a joke. So like, it really.
Because I was thinking zombies is more abuse,
Mm-hmm.
brought upon by abuse and neglect and
Mhm.
things. But yeah, I think didn't Dr. Loomis say he's just pure evil? That's it.
Yeah, that's what he says in the original movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it really depends who, like you said.
But what does that mean? Like, what is pure evil though? Like, I'm trying to like break it down as much as I possibly can.
Maybe it's like along the lines of biblical, where Jesus is good, and then maybe Michael's evil, like spawn of
Mhm.
manifestation of evil or something,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I don't know. I guess like it's not a great comparison, but I guess kind of like Damien from the Omen. He's just like born, like he was just born like evil, and we don't know why.
But wasn't he
how.
like Satan's kid?
Damien was. That's why I say it's not a great comparison, but I'm just trying to like,
Get the mark of the beast.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay. I still can't believe Jason was born in the 40s. Shout out to Jedi for being so
That is it.
active in the chat for our live stream.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was having a great old time.
Yeah, him and Angel from that Strange show. They were very active. So thank you. to
Everyone was, yeah.
everyone. It was great all night.
All right, so that's all the questions we have this week. Thank you, everyone, for asking them. And now a word from our deadly sponsor.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
All right, so you want to do some watch?
Let's do it. I'll start us off because I know me and Steve are going to be talking Dementia Part 2 in a little bit. So I want to talk about Dementia to start us off. Directed by Mike Teston, who is one of the guys on our interview tonight. This one is about an old man played by Gene Jones, I believe his name is. A lot of horror fans will know him best for The Sacrament. If you have seen that movie, he plays the Jim Jones type character in that. Really enjoyed that one. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. But he plays an old war veteran who ends up having a stroke right outside of his house, and he deals with that. And when he's in the hospital, the doctor's like, that stroke may have caused early onset dementia, so you better watch out for it, and whatnot. He's telling his son this, and they go home, and they get a knock on the door from a nurse played by Christina Klebe, who most of you would know for playing Linda in Rob Zombie's Halloween remake. But she's like, your dad needs, could use like home care, someone to take care of him during this tough time. So they hire her. Little do we know that she has sinister intentions, as she basically starts torturing this poor old man in his house, starts doing some really just sick shit. I won't give too much away, but one thing she does is she drugs him like constantly, like to make him pass out and stuff like that. Just, and at one point, he like wakes up in the middle of the night from his drug induced thing, and he sees her like covered in blood cleaning up something. He wakes up the next morning, his cat is dead, and she's like, look what you did while you were sleepwalking, caused by your dementia and shit like that. And she just like constantly like is doing like this fucked up shit to him. And I'll leave it at that. The movie does take quite a twist that I did not see coming. I really did not. And I really liked the twist. So I definitely recommend this movie. I really enjoyed it. Really well done. I love I hope I'm saying it. I think it's Gene Jones. I'll look it up and if I'm wrong, but he's like such a good actor. Todd, I think you missed it, but he was in The Sacrament. He played like the Jim Jones character in The Sacrament.
Like
I know you're a
the
fan of
main
that.
guy.
Yeah. He's great in this. He's just such a good actor. He does well in this. Christina Klebe, she's good as like the crazy nurse. And yeah, I mean, great story, great twist. And yeah, I highly recommend it for anyone. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 over on Letterboxd.
Nice. All right, I'll go with my first What Watch then. So my first What Watch is actually the original of the movie we're watching tonight, and that's The Queen of Black Magic, which I found over on Shudder. So I'll begin by saying that the original, despite being like considered a remake, the new one is almost nothing at all the same, other than the name and the fact that there's a Queen of Black Magic, and it takes place in Indonesia. Like that's pretty much where the similarities end. So in this one, a woman is accused of being a like a demon, like a devil or a witch or something, because she had an infidelity with a guy who wants to marry like the tribe leader's daughter, and she's kind of in the way of that. So he brings some villagers to have her killed. So they throw her off a cliff, but she survives the fall. And this kind of evil doctor shows her the ways to become a vengeful kind of real witch, and shows her how to do some black magic so she can have revenge on the villagers that threw her off the cliff, and especially the guy that caused the whole thing, who was marrying the tribe's daughter. So it's a decent film, a decent watch. There's some great gore. Actually, if you watch the remake, during the credits they show pictures of the original film. Now, by looking at it, you'll think, wow, the original must be awesome. But they literally show every good scene in the credits of the remake, I guess, to entice people to go watch the original, because there is a lot of boring filler in between some of those gory scenes and some of the cool stuff. So it's not like a great film, but it's definitely something I'm not upset I watched or anything. It was like a 6-ish out of 10. So I'd recommend it, but not as much as I would the remake, which we'll talk about at the end of the show.
So I talked about this on the live stream, I think, and I finally started the new drama mystery thriller show on Freeform called Cruel Summer. It's the one that is I think it's produced by Jessica Biel. So, like I mentioned, it's called Cruel Summer. And I'll just read a little synopsis real quick. A small Texas town when a beautiful, popular teen Kate is abducted and seemingly unreal. Did I tell you guys about that story with the abduction in the Alien cereal? I did. Yes, I did, but
Did
okay,
you?
never. Yeah, where I couldn't say abducted in my Alien commercial in
yeah.
middle
Oh
school.
yeah, okay,
And
yeah.
ever since I told you guys that
Abducted.
story, all I see is the word abducted now, and I laugh. Okay, sorry about that. So this popular girl named Kate, she's abducted, and there is another girl named Jeanette who goes from being the sweet, awkward girl to the most popular girl in town. And it's kind of crazy. Like, it's based in the 90s and it's told over 3 summers. So each episode goes back and forth from summer 1, summer 2, summer 3. It's kind of confusing at first, but once you can tell the styles of each year, you're fine throughout the story. But the thing is, Kate, the popular girl that goes missing, she comes out and she's upset with Jeanette, the nerdy girl that now is the popular girl and who has kind of taken her spot. She says that Jeanette found her locked up in this house and never reported her. And so they're going through the most, what am I trying to say? So they're going through all of these summers, and the last summer we see the girl Jeanette, like, her life is completely destroyed. All of America hates her. Her parents are like going through a lot of hardship, and she's about to go on trial for being accused of seeing this girl locked up in a basement and never reported it. So you don't know, did she really see the girl, or is the girl lying because she hates the girl because now she's dating her boyfriend? It sounds really confusing, but it's a pretty good show. If you liked Pretty Little Liars and kind of like the teen shows on Freeform, I recommend watching it. I love it because, like I said, it takes place in the 90s and it shows all sorts of different 90s fashion. It has all of the greatest 90s jams on it, and it's just a really good, fun teen show that kind of you can just turn your mind off and enjoy. So check it out. It's Cruel Summer.
Is the theme song "Cruel Summer" that song? Because it should be missed
No,
opportunity.
they haven't played Cruel Summer yet.
Ah.
But it does have I forget his name. He was in one of the Final Destinations. He was in Final Destination 2. He plays the dad, but it has a lot of good actors in it.
Oh. Is it the Ben Franklin guy? Who's like, "Fuck you, Ben."
Fuck you, Ben Franklin.
No,
No, that's a kid in that. That's number 3.
No, I should have looked up more information.
No,
before we
it's
started
fine.
talking
It's
about
fine.
it, but no, it's like Michael something. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but yeah.
All right. Mine is a horror adjacent. We can argue it's not horror, but I'm going to throw it in there because it's really good. 1996 masterpiece, Twister. She's excited.
I'll tell you after.
Okay. We watched it on my theater room for the little big screen experience. Kids, wife, all that shit. Got some pizza. And yeah, Twister's amazing, man. Great movie growing up. Had a VHS tape. Watched it a lot. Bill Paxton obviously is amazing. Helen Hunt, adorable. I also like Bill Paxton's wife, soon to be ex-wife. She's cute. I like her. She's nice.
She is cute, yeah.
She never does anything wrong either. Bill Paxton could be the one, you can argue he's kind of at fault here. But yeah, really good action, really good characters. I love the ensemble cast. Philip Seymour Hoffman, who I forget his character's name in this one. He's just
Extreme.
So lovable. Yeah.
That's not him, but that's what.
You ride it with me? Sweet.
I've gotta go. We've got cows.
Is it Dusty?
Dusty.
Yeah, Dusty.
Yeah. I just love it, man. It's so good. It's so
Yeah.
good. And then you got The Shining playing. You got that scene that scarred everybody when you're a kid. I didn't even live near tornadoes, and I was like, holy shit, your dad can get sucked out of the fucking cellar? Yes, there are some plot points where like, wait a minute. Dad can get sucked out of the cellar, but these two can be huddled under a little bridge and they're good. Kind of strange.
With a little belt. Well, the belt's in the farm later on, or the barn.
Yeah. But you know, it's a good end of the world, whatever you want to call it, nature run amok movie, and it's awesome. So Twister.
Don't forget Dr. Gordon too. Carrie Always. That's a
He's
great
really
villain.
good in it too.
Yeah,
He's very
he
good
is.
in it
He
too.
is good. He's a babe in it too.
He's a good-looking kid, and his acting can be spotty sometimes, but he is perfect for this role.
He is.
Like smart ass, corporate America, whatever you want to call him. Too smart for his own good. Like, it's just, man, everything about it's great.
How many people?
Everything about it is great.
How many people do you think like died from like chasing tornadoes after this movie?
A
Just like
bunch.
amateurs.
Yeah, totally.
It's like how Top Gun made everyone join the Navy.
Yeah.
Twister made everyone go run around with camcorders chasing after tornadoes.
Well, I will say, since I grew up in Kansas, I was obsessed with the movie Twister. I remember I begged my mom to buy it for me for VHS. I got it for Christmas and I watched it all day on the Christmas that she got it for me. And stupid Sam, I didn't realize, I mean, I knew it was a movie, but I was so convinced that Helen Hunt's character was a real person who really was chasing tornadoes in Kansas, in Oklahoma. And I was so sure that I was going to become a tornado chaser because I wanted to work with her. And my mom's like, Sam, it's a movie. And I'm like, I'm going to work with her. Like, I loved Helen Hunt so much. And Twister, it's been playing on TV. And anytime I see it, I'll just like stop whatever I'm doing and I'll just stand there and I'm like glued to the TV. And Joe has been laughing at me. He's like, you just watched this. And I'm like, why is this movie so amazing? Like, I just love it so much. And I really thought that she was a tornado chaser and that I was going to be working under her.
The effects still hold. The effects still hold up. Like, it still looks really good.
Yeah, I attempted a dad joke for this one. It almost landed.
Let's hear it. I love the dad jokes.
More of a lie. But I was like, man, for this movie, they actually trained a tornado to follow their commands. And I looked over at my son and he looked at me like with the look of like, what? And then he saw me smiling. He's like, oh.
Aww.
But the effects are pretty good, except for one scene in the beginning where they show a satellite. I'm like, this is garbage. But other than that, like the tornadoes look great. Helen Hunt, she's fucking gorgeous in this.
I know. I kind of had a crush on her too. Like, I remember this is like my girl crushing Sam coming out.
Ooh,
when she's wearing like the jumpsuit and she's all super muddy and it like shows her butt. I was like, oh my God, like boner, hello. Like, she's such a freaking babe.
Yeah.
And you're right. Freaking Bill Paxton, like, make up your mind, sir.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing.
He brought his hot new wife to his hot old wife in the middle of a storm. Come on, Billy. What are we doing? He was hoping for a little threesome. That's what he's hoping for.
Yeah.
Little dog.
And I also just want to mention real quick, and then we can move on. How good does that breakfast look when they go to Aunt May's house, though?
Yes,
God.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I need that now.
Steak and eggs, right?
She's lucky that she had groceries for 19 of them.
Yeah, right.
Great movie, though. Great movie.
We should just cover Twister tonight.
Let's do it.
we should do it like come summer.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever seen a tornado in person?
I have.
No.
How close did you
Steve's
get?
like, I don't fucking care.
No, I figured in Kansas that unfortunately you probably would have. How close did you get?
So it wasn't an
under a bridge.
Under a bridge. No, like I remember it was almost like every other week my mom was pushing us in a closet or the bathtub with all of the pets. There was a really bad one out in, I think it was Hayesville or Andover. And that was like the next town over in the 90s. Like, people still always post about it come the anniversary of it. But like it never ripped my roof off or anything like that. But
did you ever actually get to see the cloud thing, the funnel?
Yep.
Ooh, freaky.
That's scary.
It's scary, man. So
Freaky.
It is scary because it's like you can't control anything. It's like, I hope I survive.
Unless you're Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, but other than that.
Yeah, I live in a valley, and I always get the emergency like on my phone saying that there's a tornado watch. That happens.
I had no idea Canada had tornadoes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I got like tornado watches all the time. Since I moved here, and it got to the point where it happens so much, and there's no tornado that I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I'm shopping one time. I'm food shopping, and I get a tornado watch. I kind of look at my phone. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Put it back in my pocket. I'm leaving the shop, and I see a fucking funnel cloud.
Shit.
It must have been, I don't know, trying to put into miles, maybe like 10 miles away. But I could still see it clearly. I'm like, oh,
That's
shit.
close.
Okay, that's a little too close. And you're right. There's nothing you can do. It's yeah. It blew my fence. Unfortunately, I got lucky. It got my fence, but not the funnel, obviously. But I guess the winds around the funnel. So yeah, no joke. The Twister's amazing. I fucking love Twister.
Yeah, I actually was like right in front of one once. I was at Universal Studios Orlando, and I rode the Twister ride. And
I was like, Joe, I've never heard this
It's a dad
story.
joke right there, dude. I
Yeah.
like
Hi, Dad.
That ride was so
Yeah,
was so.
Daddy.
It wasn't that was a fun ride. It wasn't really a ride, I guess. You just like stand
It's a
there
show,
and
yeah.
a show, yeah. And you're
I
at the-
would love that. I remember
Yeah.
Joe showed me a video on YouTube. I was like, I would love this.
Yeah.
Or maybe it would cause a little PTSD. I don't know.
It was cool. You're at like the drive-in theater, like, and like you see like the screen like comes off, and like there's a bunch of explosions and shit. And
That is so scary.
Even-
the
even the
majority
cop-
of sorry, Joe.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's fine. So like there was a time in my childhood and teen where we lived in a trailer right next to a drive-in. So anytime there was a tornado warning, tornado watch, I was just like, the theater is gonna bash our trailer in and I'm gonna die. It's very scary.
It's crazy.
Back to Joe, I think.
Yep, back to Joe.
Oh, should we talk Dementia Part 2 then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty. So Dementia Part 2, directed by our interviewers tonight, Matt Mercer and Mike Teston. This one is about I guess kind of like guy who's kind of a loser. I guess he like doesn't have a job. He's just kind of like lounging on his couch, not really doing much with his life. And he gets a call from a like agency, I guess is probably the right word for it, like an employee agency that's like, hey, we got a job for you. You gotta go be like handiwork for this older woman. So he shows up to this older woman's house, knocks on her door, starts doing like chores for her and stuff like that. And we come to realize that this woman is suffering dementia. She starts like, at one point she's like, wait, who are you? Like, why are you here? And she's giving them $100 bills, thinking they're $10 bills and stuff like that. And he's like dealing with that for quite a long time. And then like weird shit starts happening. And I don't know like how deep we want to get into this, Steve.
Well, it's coming out this week, so not too deep. But
yeah, right. All I'll say is it turns into a horror movie as this lady with dementia starts becoming, I'll just say rabid, I guess is the best way to describe it. And yeah, I mean, it's a goofy movie. It's very different from the first movie. I mean, this is like a straight horror comedy. And yeah, Steve, what'd you think of it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. The acting was great, especially the woman who has dementia and the main character. They had a good like chemistry where he was really kind of confused as to what she was doing, and she was just, you didn't know what version of her you would get. They get into some pretty sticky situations together that are both funny and disgusting at the same time. So that was really interesting. Just don't eat lunch while you're doing it. Trust me from experience, because this movie gets pretty gross at times. And it's very impressive. So you'll get that in the interview that they conceived this movie, shot it, edited it in like 30 days. So, and they have the whole story as to why they had to do that and all that stuff. So there's a lot of cool stuff in the movie. There are parts where I thought it was a little slow. At times I'm like, okay, it's kind of like the same thing happening over and over. Like, and some things that the suspension of disbelief was taken away a little bit for me. Specifically, another character that comes into play at some point. But yeah, it's a decent movie, and I do recommend you watch it. So yeah, Dementia 2.
Yeah, I liked it as well. Like, so it's only 66 minutes long. So it's like really like easy breezy in and out type movie. It's shot in black and white, which I found to be interesting. You don't see that too often. And it works for this movie just because like the gross stuff they do in it, like, I don't know, just in black and white, like, it just is even more, just seems gross to me. I don't know why. But yeah, I mean, it's fun, it's goofy, it's like a great midnight movie type watch. Like, this is definitely a good one to watch with a crowd. It's just so bizarre. I'm glad I watched this one first, over part two, because, and you hear this in the interview, but like it was intentional for them to like go completely different routes with the two movies, because like the first movie is like so serious. It's like a straight serious like thriller horror movie, and this one is just like bonkers, like off the wall, like craziness. And it's just like such a weird like juxtaposition like between the two movies. But it worked. Like yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, and I would recommend it as well. Yeah, it's coming out DVD June 1st and select theaters May 21st, so check it out.
Absolutely. So my second one this week is so when you open Tubi, it pops up with recommendations. It's the first thing that you see when you enter Tubi. And a movie that Tubi really, really wanted me to see for some reason is a movie called The Leprechaun's Game from 2020. It's always on my... Yep.
Those bastards got me too, but I didn't watch it yet. I put it in my list.
So are they recommending it like all the time?
Yes, all the fucking time.
I don't know if they like paid off the people on Tubi but it's like always on my front page. And I was kind of like, okay, maybe I should check it out. But then Joe posted a picture, I think on his horror group, maybe in the Discord as well, where he found the DVD, I don't know, maybe in the $1.99 bin at a gas station. I don't know where he found it. But
is that a Walmart, actually?
Okay, so yeah. So I'm like, okay, you know what? This fucking movie, obviously the universe wants me to see this thing, so I'm going to check it out. So I did, and it's pretty much as terrible as you would expect. The story centers around a guy who collects like legends items, like he collects Krampus's bag, he collects Bigfoot's like nails or teeth or something, and he likes to collect like urban legends, like they're real, and he collects like pieces of them. So he hires these two thugs to find Leprechaun's gold, and is willing to pay him $100,000 if they do. So these two guys don't believe it exists. So they go to the woods thinking this is a wild goose chase, but they find the bag of gold. But of course, they're like, fuck this is worth more than 100,000. So we're going to keep it for ourselves. They split it among other like goons that they were on the expedition with. And the leprechaun comes and kills all of those goons. It sounds cool in concept, but the execution is absolutely terrible. The shots are really amateur. Like the edit is really amateur. The leprechaun doesn't look that great. The special effects are awful. The kills are not really all that good. There's really not a lot of good stuff about this movie. It's long as hell for what it is. Stay away from this one. A really, really terrible movie. So that's The Leprechaun's Game 2020 on Tubi.
I'm going to remove it right now. Nice try, Tubi.
Yeah.
Not today. All right. My second will be a novella by Brian G. Barry, an indie author. He wrote one called The Shack, and it is about a random shack in the woods that has a kind of demonic force in it that lures kids and eats them. It's really cool because it's set like one of the chapters is like in the 1800s where the townsfolk like have had enough and they're going out there to kill the creature. Creature kills all them. Then it fast forwards to like the 90s, same thing, creature kills all them, and then present day with similar results. And it's kind of cool. Very visually, it's very awesome. You got like fucking over the top graphic scenes where you're tearing people apart. The cops like snap and kill each other and shit like that because the demon like kind of makes them. And then at the end, goes all out where these creatures come up from the ground because they've had enough sacrifices and they try to kill everybody in the town. It's really cool. So check it out if you're a reader. I think it's like 99 cents on Kindle if you have a Kindle. And that's The Shack by Brian G. Barry.
Cool. And that's all the What Watch for this week.
Ooh, trivia time.
Let's do it.
Get them out. Let me get my...
Coming for that ass, Todd.
Oh, I like this. All right, let me get the trivia points up. Here they are, loading Google Sheets. All right. the current standings are myself holding on. No, not holding on to the lead. It's tied up. 52,
Oh.
Right, baby.
52 with Joe.
That's right, baby.
Steve,
Oh.
49 on our buttholes. And Sam, 33. Respectable fourth place still.
Woo woo.
Any man or woman's game. Oof, this is neck and neck. Joe's trying to dethrone me. I don't know how I like
Hell,
how I feel about this anymore. All right, who would like to lead?
I'll lead us off. Our good friend Kayla, just continuing to kill it with
Kayla.
these trivia questions, sending them in this week. So, first one I got for you guys is In the Good Son. You guys remember that one?
Yes.
All right. In The Good Son, how does Henry, Macaulay Culkin's character, kill his younger brother?
Yes.
Pushes him off.
Incorrect.
Uh,
He doesn't burn the treehouse down?
Ings him.
Incorrect.
Damn, doesn't he do that in the movie though?
he does. Yeah. Well, he burns the treehouse down, but
I thought someone was in it.
I know. I think he tried to kill Elijah Wood that way.
Oh, little Elijah. What do you ever do to anybody?
Uh,
Nothing. Just Saruman.
God, I don't remember. I didn't remember he had a brother. To be honest with you, it's been a while.
Yes.
He's a freaky little bastard in that movie, man.
Yes. Yeah, if you do recall, he had a young baby brother that it was dead before the
Suffocates
movie
him.
began, and what he does was he drowns him in the bathtub.
That is so
which-
disturbing.
that
Yeah.
we come to find out.
Jeez.
Yeah, that movie's
Sam
fucked
did
up.
Sam did say suffocate, so I don't know if you guys
No,
wanna
but
give
that
it
was
to him.
after, so it's fine.
Okay.
Gee whiz.
All right, I'll go next. So, also from Kayla, how much was John Carpenter paid to write, direct, and score Halloween?
Zero.
We'll do closest without going over.
50,000. 50,000.
That's what I was gonna say, Joe. 70,000.
The winner is Todd.
Damn it.
It's actually 10,000.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm, that's hot. All
I
right,
thought it was gonna
John.
be zero. I thought it was like some weird, like, tricky question.
No, he actually got paid, but not much.
All right, Sam, would you like to go, or would you like me to go?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go. And another shout out to Kayla for these trivia questions.
Kayla. Ooh, there's a fucking gnat in here. I got him though.
Get the gnat.
Bastard.
Alrighty. In the original Nightmare on Elm Street, where did Wes Craven get the idea for the name Freddy Krueger?
Childhood bully.
A booty?
Booty.
Childhood
It's a booty.
A booty? A childhood booty?
His childhood bully.
Childhood babe?
Bully.
Joe's right. Good job, Joe.
Thank
Wow.
you. I have a canker sore on my tongue, so sometimes it's
I
been
have
it's
one
like
in my mouth too, buddy.
yeah,
Oh, you guys
We need to
been,
stop making out.
Yeah.
it's been giving me a bit of a speech impediment tonight, so I
Dude,
apologize.
canker sores are the fucking worst.
They are.
So tiny, yet
Yeah.
so much
So
pain for
painful.
such a small thing.
Yep.
All right. Stephen King related. And The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon.
Ooh.
Oh,
Are you
What?
ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, I thought you just asked the question. I was like, I missed it.
I was like,
What,
wait,
what famous trail do they attempt to hike?
Appalachian.
Appalachian.
Joseph got in there first.
Joe got it.
But did he say it right though?
Yes.
He did.
Yeah,
he
he
did.
did.
He
He
did. Jedediah. That's what I heard. So.
Jed.
Jedediah.
Jedi.
Jedediah.
Jedediah.
Sweet Jedediah.
I wonder what that kid ended up doing with his life after TCM was over.
That's a good
Back to
question.
his-
huh?
He
Back
was also
boy
in the
Jed.
ring.
Was
He
he?
was.
No, I mean
Yeah.
like the character Jedediah.
Oh.
Like, did he
I
get
don't
out of
know.
it? Get
Yeah.
adopted?
I don't think so.
Braces?
He definitely, yeah. He had a baby with his cousin or something.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
No. Jedediah.
Jedediah.
Okay. It's back to me.
Sir.
All right. In The Others, what war is Grace's husband? I'm sorry. What war is Grace waiting for her husband to
World
return
War
from?
One.
2.
Sam, World War
WW2.
II.
WW, the sequel.
The only war question I will ever get right.
Or the sequel's better than the original in that case.
Is there a sequel
That's
to The
from an
Others?
No, I meant World War II. And
Oh, I was like, wait a minute.
No,
shout out to the
very-
vets.
Absolutely.
Shout out to the
If
vets.
there's any 90-plus-year-old men, shout out to the vets. Oh, it's not my turn.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
that's mine. All right, so the next one comes to us from Weezerface.
Weezerface.
What's the name of the school bus? What's the name of the school written on the side of the bus in the Halloween school bus massacre segment of Trick or Treat?
I knew this was coming. I couldn't tell you.
Williams.
It's probably a horror related name.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm gonna say.
Carpenter?
I was
You know,
gonna say.
I'll just stop
Okay.
you guys there. It's not at all horror.
Oh, don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, y'all give up?
Yes.
Yeah, you already gave them a clue, Steve, so they can't answer now.
It's Happy Shepherd Academy.
Oh, there's no way. No way.
Yeah.
Nope. It's a good trivia question though. Like,
Yeah, it's
if
a
you're-
great one.
that's a hardcore one.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough one.
Alrighty. Okay. The interviews of what killer inspired the relationship between William Graham and Hannibal Lecter?
Can you repeat that?
Yep. The interviews of what killer inspired the relationship between William Graham and Hannibal Lecter?
Son of Sam?
Ed Gein.
Todd, want to give a guess?
Does it say Ed Gein?
I don't think Ed Gein talked much.
He's a fucking cocksucker.
Oh, he's the worst.
Don't ever read what he said. It'll disturb you.
Mm.
I regret reading some of that stuff.
Well, now I'm gonna go read it.
No, don't. Trying to think of the guy's damn name. What's that fucking guy's name with the fucking? He put a swastika on his forehead
Charles
or whatever.
Manson.
Charles Manson. Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.
You guys are incorrect.
Oh.
Darn it.
It is Ted Bundy.
Oh,
Mm. Okay.
Really?
that
Okay.
makes sense. He's well spoken.
He ate people. Wait, did Bundy
Did
eat
he?
people? Okay. No, he
No,
didn't. That was
no, he didn't.
Dahmer.
That was Dahmer eating wieners
Yeah.
and stuff, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Did Gein eat people too? I think he did.
Yeah, man. Ugh, he
He's
did.
Is it
He's-
Geen
he's-
or Gain?
Gein.
Gein.
It is? Okay.
Yeah.
I like to have a time machine and go back and get Ed Gein.
Well, then all of the best movies wouldn't
I
exist.
don't care.
Psycho, TCM,
I
Silence
don't
of the
care.
Lambs.
He's
He's horrible.
done.
Yeah.
Freak.
I'd get Gacy and Dahmer.
I get all of them. That's what I'd do if I had a DeLorean. I would go back and save
exactly serial
people.
killer. Yeah.
Like Dexter with a time machine.
Absolutely, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome movie.
Yeah. Ugh.
And then you come back to 2020. It's like the world in Demolition Man.
Hey, that's a cool. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like fuck, and they're like, "Meh."
Welcome back and have a happy joy day.
Sam, you're up.
No,
I
she
just
just
said it.
asked.
You are.
My bad.
You mean I'm up to get this point, Todd? Let's
Oh.
That's right.
All right.
What animal in Cannibal
Turtle.
Wrong. Castle Freak came out in what year in the 90s?
95.
From
Castle
90,
Steven got it.
94.
Steven
Oh,
got it.
95.
Come on, Steve.
I've been really into Charles Band lately, so for
Yeah.
better or worse.
I really want you to do the Puppet Master when you get the opportunity.
Is that what the TV
it's
show's
next
based
after
off
Eagle
of?
Bong.
What was that?
Is that what the show's based off of? Castle Freak on Hulu?
That's Castle what?
Vania.
No, there's a.
No, it's Castle Rock. You're thinking of.
Oh,
I think.
that's
Castle Rock.
Stephen King's universe.
Oh, what are you guys talking about? Castle Freak?
Castle
Yeah.
Freak. Yeah,
Oh,
We covered it on the
You
show.
watched
we
it.
did.
tomato,
Were you-
onion, whatever.
Was Sam on that episode? I can't remember.
I don't.
The
It's been a
Castle
while.
Freak
so.
episode. Yeah. Can't remember. Oh, the remake's terrible, by the way. Don't ever watch it.
I forgot that even came out.
Yeah.
That was this year, huh?
Yeah,
last
it's
year?
really
Last
last
year,
year. It's really bad. Okay, last one for the night. Which movie did Exorcist director William Friedkin say was the most terrifying film he'd ever seen?
Christ, I watched that fucking documentary.
Night of the Living Dead?
Incorrect.
Oz.
Damn it.
Incorrect.
Was it Rosemary's Baby?
Correct. The answer might shock you.
Oh, I thought Steve got it right.
I know.
Yeah,
No.
the in
Is it-
like cut
is it
out.
No,
correct?
sorry. Incorrect.
Oh,
The answer might shock you. It's a
Okay,
newer
shock
movie.
us.
newer movie?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just kidding.
The
Is it
correct
that one
answer
movie? Hold on, hold
The
on.
is
Conjuring.
okay. Okay, we getting all guesses.
Conjure's on
Another
the
one
board.
guess.
Yeah, we're getting all. It's
right.
that one fucking with Bagduel. Bagduel.
Bagul.
Bagul. There you go. Sinister.
Incorrect.
And
All
I'll
right,
go.
Steve, last shot.
Oh boy, I'll go Saw.
Incorrect.
All right.
Duke. The Babadook.
Babadook, really?
Really?
I cannot stand that movie, man.
It's a good movie, but as far as terrifying, I don't know about that.
All right. In what year
Oh.
did the original what's that fucking movie called? The Queen of Black Magic come out?
1978.
Damn it.
88.
No, you're right.
No.
82.
Fine.
I'll give it to Sam. It's the closest. It's actually 81.
All right.
Sam, you got the point.
Oh,
The
yeah.
twofer.
Because it's a given point, you know. It's a,
gimme. But you gotta take them gimmies, girl.
gimme.
I'll take a gimme if you
Gimme.
want to give me a gimme.
Gimme. Okay, ready?
Do it.
In The Birds, what California town do the birds attack?
LA.
San Francisco.
No. It's a beach town for sure. San Diego?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No one.
Does
Costa
anyone
Mesa?
wanna guess again? I don't know if you guys will guess it.
Burbank.
San Jose.
I would have never guessed it.
What's the first letter?
B.
Burbank. Boner Hills.
Oh.
Oh my God, you got it.
Yes, I know it. I do. You live there.
The town is named Bodega Bay.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. The movie Rain of Fire revolves around what type of creature?
Rain of
Dragon.
Fire.
Dragon, yeah. It's a-
Dragon for Joe. Damn it! That means he pulls ahead by 2. Bitch ass. All right. Is that it? Any bonusers?
No.
Wait. Okay. Joe takes the lead. He's doing his walk around the octagon right now. 55 points. Myself, 53. Steve, 50. Sam with a good night. 35 turnout.
Yep.
Not happy with this. Not happy with this.
Oh yeah.
Not feeling it. Epic comeback. All right. Send those trivia questions, people. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for the trivia questions.
How
And
you guys
now-
feel about doing a little horror news?
yeah,
You know,
it's
I want to
been a
hear
while.
some news.
All right. It's been a while, so I got a few for you guys. Number one being, how do you feel about, there's the MCU. How would you feel about the Saw CU?
Love it. Give it to
I
me.
don't even know what the hell you're saying.
Okay. So Darren Lynn Bosman, of course, promoting his new Saw movie, in an interview recently, talked about a possible Sawverse coming. So he was quoted saying, I found a renewed interest in the Saw universe. I thought it was played out and I had done everything I could, but getting a chance to work with people like Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson has kind of reinvigorated my love for these type of stories and what could be done with them. He went on to say, so I think there's a lot more to tell and a lot more I'd want to tell. Just because Spiral exists does not mean there will never be a Saw 9. This is a diversion. This is a different path. You're not done seeing Tobin Bell at all. What I think will happen and what I'd like to do if Spiral is successful is you'll see Spiral 2, and then you'll see Saw 9, and then you'll see Spiral 3, and then you'll see Saw 10. You might see a TV series as well. So I think you'll be seeing the Marvel verse of the Saw franchise.
Okay, can you relax, sir?
Where there are different storylines taking place. And I think that is what it's going to be. It will exist in the same universe and there will be different storylines taking place. So there's a lot to digest there, but thoughts?
Tobin
A
Bell's
lot.
fucking almost 80.
He's still hot though.
He's great, but like he's not gonna last forever, you know. And
But
also,
what if it?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what if it's a thing of, well, and two, I always there already is a Saw universe, sir. Like, what do you?
Yeah,
Maybe a
that doesn't make sense.
continuing it, fine, but don't act like you're gonna be the one to create the Saw universe. It already exists, okay?
And also Spiral
watch.
bombed. So
It did bomb.
I mean,
It did bomb.
It's
it's
got
their
like
fault.
there's like one theater playing it.
What are we
Yeah.
talking about?
I mean, it was number one in the box office this
Yeah.
week, but it only made like 7 or 8 million.
It's
like,
because
not bombing.
they should have released it October. I'm telling you.
They
and on
should've.
VOD, I think.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
that was a big
Why
mistake.
didn't they?
They missed out on all the Canadian money for sure.
Yeah,
That's
I
too
couldn't even see
bad.
it if I wanted to. So
I really, I don't know. We'll discuss it when we can. But
I mean, I'm surprised that you guys are saying it bombed.
I mean, seven mil on a pandemic isn't terrible. I mean, what do they
It's
want?
not
100
terrible,
mil?
I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Unless Samuel Jackson asked for 10 million to film.
I
but
think
you have to remember, Godzilla vs Kong made 350 million. So
That's
and that came out 2 weeks ago. So
That's like a universal movie, though. That's like
Yeah.
everyone can watch that. Steve, you got a possession going on in the background.
You
I don't know if
do.
you know this.
yeah, I do. It's,
Poltergeist.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it will become way more successful once it hits VOD, like you guys are saying. So I wouldn't take the box office numbers as a complete bomb yet. So
yeah.
we'll see what happens with that. All right, Terrifier 2 update time here, as Damien Leone came out today and said that a rough cut is officially done for the movie. He went on to say that the rough cut is 2 hours and 21 minutes long.
Who do you think you are?
Too long, buddy. This isn't Titanic.
So he went on to say, so what now? It's time to head into the final polishing phase with some color correction, minor VFX. And he said, I can guarantee you the final runtime of Terrifier 2 will remain slightly over 2 hours long. It's epic.
Oh.
We're still aiming for a Halloween release, but again, it all comes down to a distribution deal. So what do you think? Terrifier 2, over 2 hours long.
Oh, fucking wait. He needs to, when he's done with the VFX, he needs to fucking trim like 50 minutes off that. That's what he needs to do.
I mean, if it's not slow paced, because I feel like some of Terrifier is a little slow. Like it's just very what am I doing here? What is this, guys? It's
Gone out?
very
Even
it's very
paced.
even. There's no ups and downs. But if the kills are cool, and if it's in October, you know, I might just tag along for the 2 hour ride. I'll see.
I'm gonna buy it, blind buy it for sure, but that just seems so long for that type of movie.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the shit that's scary is him, like, you know, doing it, you know, staring at people, and we're gonna watch that for an hour. Or like,
Yeah, like him
Huh.
miming or him
Yeah.
seesawing vaginas for 2 hours. Like I don't
there's
know.
a market for that for sure, but
True. Well, what's the movie that we just watched recently? It was a horror one and it was over 2 hours. It was just one that we just watched. And I think we reviewed it.
let me look at my letterboxd here.
We did. I can't remember right now, but you're right about that.
It was like just recently.
I don't know.
Maybe it's not, maybe it wasn't a new one. Maybe it was new to us. I can't remember. But we are all like, it was way too long.
Wrong turn.
Yeah.
that was fucking long.
Long term was about 2 hours. Yeah. Too long.
Yeah, that was 110 minutes. So
Yeah, I completely agree. This movie needs to be 90 minutes. That's really, it's just not the type of movie I think that should be over 2 hours, in my opinion. So
I mean, unless we see a backstory of how art
Yeah.
came to be, I could kind of buy
it's just
it.
like
but...
because, like you said, because he's mute. There's just
Mhm.
like I don't know. It's, but I mean, I'll watch it. So really, you know, like
Yeah.
that's a very big flag and something that
Mm.
could hurt the movie. I think in the long
Yeah.
run.
still
Yeah.
mad that he used a gun.
Yeah, right.
Let it go, Todd.
Right. It's just like the first movie had like no plot. And it was like, so like if you're going to do a 2 hour movie, you better have a good plot for this one. Like, I know they got a lot of big, like horror actors, I guess you could say.
Melissa
for this
Rose,
one.
though, right? Isn't she in it?
Felicia's going to be in it. And they got some other like horror actors to come in for. I think Daniel Harris is coming in for this one too.
Oh, okay. So what do we know what they're coming in as? Is Melissa going to be his mom? Danielle's going to be his sister, and we're going to see a backstory?
I have no idea. We'll see. Do you want an art backstory though?
I mean, what else are they going to do?
I don't know. we'll see.
I feel like that's what they think that's what the fans would want. I don't know. Do the art fans want a backstory?
I don't
Or
want
they
to know.
just-
I don't want to know
don't.
too much. Like
They just
No.
want to
I
see
rather
him
just not
go
know.
on a
You know?
killing spree. Yeah.
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 I just, yeah, if it has the Halloween party and the Halloween costumes, give me fucking 2 hours of it.
All right. Very good. All right. I know Sam and I watched the first episode and then we quickly did not continue on. But did anyone watch Clarice? Anyone else check that show out? All right. Well, CBS has officially announced that Clarice will be moving to Paramount Plus streaming exclusively for its second season. So they said Clarice currently is averaging 6.1 million viewers on CBS, which is their lowest rated show. However, the streaming views have been pretty good. So they feel like the show is kind of tailor-made for streaming, and that is why they're going to be moving it over to Paramount Plus. So if you're a fan, I guess you're gonna have to play for Paramount Plus if you're not already. Alrighty, next bit of news here is a little bit of American Horror Story update. I know Sam is excited for the new season. So the 10-episode season is going to start this fall, with the 10-episode season hoping to conclude on Halloween night.
Yeah.
They also went on to say their new anthology series, American Horror Stories, will be airing on Hulu in July. So we got 2 American Horror Stories coming out this year. So
Wait, what's the summer one?
American Horror Stories, which is kind of think Are You Afraid of the Dark or like Creep Show or whatever.
Like it's a different story each episode.
Every episode, yeah.
Do we know what the theme is for the fall show?
You know, they did.
And have they announced anyone else that's coming back?
We know Macaulay Culkin, Evan
yeah.
Peters.
Oh my God.
Sarah Paulson will be back for
Culkin's
this
in
one.
that? That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
gonna be great with him and Evan.
Mhm.
Is Culkin pretty good in it?
It's not out yet, so we'll
He
Oh, I
hasn't-
thought he was in another. I thought he was in a previous season.
No.
Nope, it'll be his first
Cool.
season. Is Emma Roberts gonna be in it?
That I'm not sure about. I mean, I know they filmed it in New England. They filmed it down on the Cape, on Cape Cod. So
What?
that's all.
Why didn't I
Yeah.
see Evan? This could have been when we met and we would have fallen in love. Love at first sight. Love at first fright.
You're right. I'm sorry that didn't happen for you. You just
Why
have to
didn't
deal
you
with me.
make that happen, Joe? Come on. What's wrong with you? What kind of boyfriend are you?
I apologize. All right, next bit of news here is the new Pet Sematary movie. So the franchise is going to be getting a movie exclusively on Paramount Plus. Right now, the plot's direction is still being figured out, although they are leaning towards a prequel for this new Pet Sematary movie. And they got a director for it, Lindsay Beer, who is credited, mostly known for Sierra Burgess is a Loser. I don't know if anyone is familiar with that at all. But that is all of the updates for now on the Pet Sematary movie. So a prequel, good idea, bad idea?
I don't know. Are prequels ever a good idea? Not that it wouldn't be, but I can't even think of a good prequel off the top of my
Rarely,
head.
right? Like for the amount that they do, it's very rarely effective. I hate going back. Like I'm
I
so
do
tired of
too.
movies going going
Going
back and
backwards. I hate Steve, maybe you'll agree with this. I hate when they go backwards, and I hate when they do it in movies and on TV shows, and especially when they do it on The Real Housewives, when they show all the fighting scenes and then they're like 24 hours earlier, and you're like, God damn it. I don't have
Sam,
time for this.
That is one of my biggest pet peeves on television.
Yeah.
When they show something cool at the beginning of the episode and then they
I
go
hate it.
24 hours earlier. Fuck you. 'Cause
Yes.
then you know they're going to get to the end of the episode and it's going to be right before that moment you want to see. And then stay tuned for next week.
For next week, yep.
No, fuck you, TV shows. You do that.
I mean, it's exciting that it's a female director.
Well,
But
the original movie was a female director.
Oh, well, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mary Lambert.
Okay. I mean, I'll probably check it out still, I'm sure.
All right. How about a reboot, folks?
It depends.
All right.
What?
Well, what if I told you we were getting a reboot of Faces of Death?
Is that
Who-
a Nick Cage movie and John Travolta?
No,
Face
Face.
off.
Faces of Death was a very popular internet. Was it? I mean,
It was on
right? Like
VHS
thing.
tapes.
I mean, it was on
Or-
VHS tapes, but like they leaked early internet days. They were like very popular. People were watching them, thinking they were real tapes, but they
Oh,
were
fun.
not real. You
Kind
had,
of like
people-
VHS, but early in the days.
Yeah, sort of, kind of. But everyone thought they were real, like things. You had like people eating animals and like people like dying on. It was shot, found footage, not found footage style, but just kind of like amateurish to make it look very real.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are getting a reboot of the Face of Death franchise. And the director and creator of Cam, for people who remember that movie that came out
Oh.
recently, is going to be helming this one. So the new plot revolves around a female moderator of a YouTube-like website whose job is to weed out offensive and violent content, and who herself is recovering from a serious trauma. Stumbles across a group that is recreating the murders from the original film. But in the story, primed for the digital age and age of online misinformation, the question faced is, are the murders real or fake?
I think people are too smart for this now. It worked in the 90s because we didn't know better and we thought it could be real. Just like the Blair Witch, like it was, the marketing seemed like it could be a real thing. I think in 2021, people can see past the bullshit and it won't be as effective. It's unfortunate. That's just the way it is. So.
I don't know, Steve. People are still saying that COVID isn't a thing.
Yeah,
So.
people are idiots, but yeah.
Yeah, it actually sounds like a cool, promising idea. But
Yeah.
I had no idea
think-
Faces of Death was fake. Honestly, I just learned that right now. I
Oh,
thought
really?
it was real. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Now you know.
Oh, wow.
The rumor was it was half. I think that
Huh.
half of it was real footage and half of it was fake, and you didn't know which was which. So it's all fake.
Sorry, guys. Sorry to let you down, Todd.
I never watched them anyway. I don't even watch the ones you sent me, you freak.
I was gonna say Joe's practically a Face of the Death fucking
I am, yeah.
director. Like he sends us shit on.
Look at this tweaker climbing on a fucking bridge, falling. Oh, great! Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Last few bits of news here. I got our Sam. But I think everyone will be excited. A lot of Halloween stuff in the works here, as a
Okay.
spooky Halloween special titled Muppets Haunted Mansion is going to be coming to Disney Plus in the fall. So the Muppets, this will be the Muppets' first ever Halloween special. The Muppets Haunted Mansion will feature the Muppets cast, celebrity cameos, and new music and spooky amusement for families to enjoy later this fall. Muppet Haunted Mansion will take place on Halloween night, when Gonzo is challenged to spend one night in the Haunted Mansion. So it sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like great family fun Halloween stuff. So definitely we'll be checking that out, because, Muppets and Halloween, just a beautiful
Sounds
mashup right
good.
there. Yeah, for sure. All right. And then a couple of food items for Halloween season, as Skittles has announced that Skittles Shriekers will be coming this Halloween season. Of course, a few years back, a lot of you might remember the zombie Skittles, where some of the Skittles tasted like rotten zombies. A little surprise in each bag. Well, now they are going to be doing, with the Shrieker Skittles, is going to be Skittles so sour they will make you shriek. So keep an eye out for those this
I thought you were
Halloween.
gonna say they will make you shit yourself.
Oh, they might do that too, I guess, if you don't like sour stuff. Do you guys remember like Warheads? Oh, those things are
Yes, Ugh, I love warheads.
brutal. Mm-hmm. And
You guys
then
ever do Bamboozled?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did on my channel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sam and
that
I
was-
did them. Yeah.
I hate
that
that
was
shit.
like a big YouTube
Mhm.
trend.
Yeah, the worst one to me was the puke, because it tastes like someone
Yeah.
puked spaghetti. I remember it vividly.
Yeah.
So gross.
That's the
Puke.
devil's game, man. Whoever made that shit up.
It's true.
Puke and like rotten eggs, I think, were the worst
Oh
ones
my gosh.
of those. Okay, so and then the last bit of news here is, of course, the cereal monsters are going to be doing something epic for this Halloween season, as they will all be uniting for Monster Mash cereal. It is going to be a hybrid of Count Dracula, Frankenberry, Boo Berry, and Yummy Mummy, and Fruit Brute. Fruit Brute. All of them combined into one cereal titled the Monster Mash, coming this Halloween season. The box art on this is really cool, really fun. I'll post it up in the Discord. So keep an eye on it this Halloween season. And that's all I got for hard news.
I'm gonna grab me one of those.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what the taste is gonna be like, but I'm grabbing one.
It will be, I'm sure, delicious no matter what. It'll be like a diabetes in a box. Absolutely.
Get your sugar content.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other news there?
No, that's all I got this week.
Brings us to our main feature of the evening, The Queen of Black Magic, coming out for us 2021, currently streaming on Shudder. And straight from Letterboxd. I don't think this was a direct to English translation here, so bear with me. But families were terrorized at the orphanage. Someone wants them dead, apparently with black magic that is very deadly. She has a grudge, and she was also born because of the sins of the orphans who formed her into the Queen of Black Magic. Kind of confusing there.
It is. I read that earlier too, and I was like, what?
So basically, these gentlemen that are probably in their 30s now get invited back to the orphanage that they grew up in to see the caretaker, who was like a father figure to them. He's on his deathbed, so they go back to pay their respects. They're all invited by the current kind of caretaker guys that were also orphans that are growing up, this man and his woman. When they're driving there, the main character with his 3 kids, they're driving there. They hit a deer and it just freaks them out, puts them on like kind of like a weird thing. They make it to the orphanage, and you can tell right away that the 3 men, the childhood friends, have a secret to hide. We just don't know what the secret is. Some strange things start happening. One of the people tells a little kid, hey, yeah, there's a legend here where this girl, she went crazy. She was doing black magic, so we locked her in her room and she hit her head against the door until she died. And of course, it's, a tall tale to scare the kid. Or is it? She shows him a VHS tape of the same woman walking around all creepily, and she's like, you know what? You can't watch the rest. So he's interested. He's gonna steal that tape, and he's gonna watch the whole damn thing like a little kid would do. Meanwhile, the man that hit the deer, he goes out to his car at one point. He's like, oh shit, there's some hair on my car. What did I hit? He drives back to the scene where the deer was. Oh no, they find a girl from the orphanage in the ditch. But then they find the orphanage bus full of all the dead orphans that were supposed to be on a business or like a field trip or whatever. Things start happening. They go back to the orphanage. They start saying like, what the fuck is really going on? All the guys are like, it's coming back. It's happening again. And then the story unfolds. Steve, take it away, since this is your favorite movie of the year so far, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's actually the first movie I've watched this year, and I really liked it. It's actually still my favorite movie of the year, and that's why I wanted at some point of the year at least you guys to see it, but I saw an opportunity to kind of fit it into our schedule, so I decided let's review it because I think there's a lot of cool stuff that I want to talk about. I think it's an effective almost ghost film. It's an effective demon film. It's an effective body horror film. And I was just really into the story. I like all the characters. I really love the kid. Like, I love how like curious he is, and he reminds me of what I was like as a kid. When someone would tell me any type of ghost story or horror story, I would like be all into it. Like, I'd want to know everything about it. And if someone's like, "Oh, I got a tape," I'd be all over that shit. I really liked the characters. Like, I felt a connection to them. I thought it was really scary as well. There were some effective scares in this story, and some really like surprising moments. And I was never bored. I was really on to the adventure that was unfolding. And I do have like a couple minor gripes, but overall, I really dug this film, and it's something I feel not a ton of people had watched. So I really wanted to kind of bring it back and make sure that people check this out. It's on Shudder, and I've been talking about it. And the people on our Discord, for example, who watched it because of my recommendation, pretty much all liked it. So check it out for sure. So I liked it.
Indonesian women are gorgeous. Just gonna throw that out there right away. Sam, what about the men? handsome. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and Haki, the little kid, adorable. He's adorable little
So
dude.
cute.
Yeah, it's been on my watch list forever since Steve said it, and we got the opportunity to watch it because we were going to do Spiral, but then Canada said they can't watch movies, so we're not doing that yet. But my main note I made was body horror because, oh my God, like I was very, like, really creeped out. Like I said earlier, I was eating lunch during the centipede scene, and she's gagging, and I'm like, I had to put the sandwich down, people.
Oh, Todd having a little sensitive stomach.
No sensitive stomach, just the gagging sound that she kept making. That's like, ugh. And then the knife scene in the mirror. Well, I guess before getting to spoilers, I liked it too. I really liked it. I thought it was a very effective film. There's some stuff that I have issues with as well, but overall, I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, so I have not seen the original. I forgot that there was one. But I really liked this film too. I liked the gore that it had. Some of the oh shit, what's the word I can't think of? Help me.
CGI.
CGI, thank you, Joe. Some of it I was like, come on, because I feel like I don't know. But yeah, the little kid was really cute. I cared about all of the characters. Some of it kind of was a little bit predictable, but I'll put that to the side. There were a little bit of plot holes, like Todd had kind of mentioned, but I really liked it. It kept me entertained. I would definitely recommend this for people to watch. And I feel like if I watched it in the dark, I would have been pretty scared.
Yeah, I had never heard of this movie like whatsoever, which is kind of surprising for me because like I usually know everything that's going on like within the horror universe, but I had not seen.
Dang, freaking flexing on everybody.
Okay.
He's ahead of trivia 1
I know.
week.
It's just 2 points, Joe. But okay.
See, now you guys know what I deal with.
No, like
Jesus,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
I just mean like I'm in so many horror forums and like message boards and stuff
For
like
how
that.
good it is, you feel like you would have known about it.
Yeah, like I was surprised. Like I had not heard anyone
Maybe
talking
no one else
about
knows
this.
about it.
No, which I don't think a lot of people have. Like, and possibly because it is a foreign horror film, a lot of people have not seen it yet. So I was definitely excited to check it out, especially after hearing like Steve's high praise for it previously, and it did not disappoint. Like I really enjoyed this. Like there's like never a dull moment really. Like there's always like something happening, and it picks up like almost like right away. It's like it keeps you guessing. Like there's something mysterious going on there, and it, but you're just waiting for that to reveal itself, which like it does, but then something else gets revealed, and so which is really cool. And then like there's something for everyone here. Like you said, there's like like a witch sort of thing. You got demons, you got ghosts, you got possession. So I mean, it's really cool. Like there's a lot going on, and it highly entertaining. Like very, very entertaining. So I really dug it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel if this were an English movie, people would be all over it. Like people would talk about it in horror forums and everything. And it sucks because I think the only reason people don't is because it's Indonesian. Didn't get a big push when it was released. I only watched it because I happened to fall on Twitter. Someone had mentioned it and I had nothing to watch. I'm like, okay, cool. It's the beginning of 2021. I want to start getting my list together. So I watched it, and yeah, it was awesome. There's a lot of scenes that I want to discuss. So what do you guys like or dislike about it specifically?
I mean, I love like where the story went, but I mean, I love I love like the folklore behind it. Like, like how they had like this whole setup with what's her name? Miss
It was
Miss
Mooney's the
something.
kid. Yeah, I forget her name.
I can't remember, but whatever her name is, they had like this whole like folklore behind her, this like story set up, and I loved her. Like she was just like so creepy. The way she like walked was like perfect. It was like so fucking creepy. I loved it. So that was great. I love that they weren't afraid to like push the boundaries on some stuff. Obviously, like killing children is always like very taboo and stuff like that, but they weren't afraid to push that. and they did that. I mean, I liked everything about it really. The one big negative I have is the CGI. Like, it would just seem like unnecessary, like to like, you know, throw it in there. Like you could have gotten away with like cheap practical effects probably, and it would have been probably more effective than how the CGI looks. But I mean, that's like kind of nitpicking because like everything else was just so good that like honestly I didn't mind like the bad CGI because like everything else was really good. So like I was able to kind of look past it. But I loved like that scene where like he's watching the video and then like you hear her like walking and like then she's like kind of like in the TV or whatever. That was awesome. I loved that part.
Yeah,
Here's Sam's unpredictables.
Unpredictable?
I meant to say predictables, and I said, So I want to hear your predictables.
Predictables. Okay, maybe I hyped it up a little too much, but okay, so it's never okay, so whenever photos are found in a little box under a man's bed, we already know that it was going to be something
It's
where
always some kitty porn or something.
Exactly, it's some CP. But I think it would have been interesting if, since we saw the video of her walking, I feel like they should have done not a video of the girls being molested or anything like that, but maybe just them sitting on the bed. I feel like that would have been a little creepier, maybe had more of a punch than just seeing the Polaroids with the girls on the bed. What else was there? Joe, do you remember any of that I was saying when we were watching it?
There
I
were
have
a couple
predictable.
times. Okay.
Let's hear it.
When they got to the thing, I'm like, all right, what do these fuckers do in the past? I'm like, you can tell right away. Like, these guys got something going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that was intentional.
They straight up said it though.
Yeah.
You quiet, Steve.
They did?
They're literally saying we can't sell this house because we did stuff, and they'll
That
find
wasn't
it.
right at the beginning, though, was it?
Yeah, right when they're
Oh, was
unloading
it?
the
Oh,
car.
never mind. You know what? When the credits opened, I said, what do these guys do?
When they showed the deer, and that was not a deer, that was an antelope, just saying.
It was a
I
baby.
So speaking of the CP pictures, not to make fun of it, but the goofiest part of this movie for me is how they wanted to make sure that the old guy was in the mirror. So he's practically in the mirror, like, like almost like it's so like CGI. So to make sure, like, that he was the one who did it, it looks super fake.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Okay, and then also I feel like, so when they hit the girl, but he thinks he hit the deer, they go back later looking for someone. They go to the mile marker, and there's all of a sudden that white bus just to the right. It's like, you're telling me you didn't see that bus there before? It was right at the road.
That is fair. It's fair criticism.
It was just a clearing though, in the brush, right? So when he hit the deer or the antelope, he was past it. He saw it from far. He's like, okay, that's what I hit, and moved on. Whereas when he went and saw the body, he saw there was a clearing, and that's when he looked down the clearing and saw the bus.
I don't know, Steve. I feel like it was maybe 8 feet in front of him. And also that deer looked really old, like he had been on the side of the road for quite some time. So I don't know, just saying.
You guys are
And
really
plus, the way he
nitpicking.
would have hit that little girl, she would have been splattered on the window.
Probably. That is fair.
Yeah. Although I do think when there was flies on the antelope, I think was to tell us that that's not actually what he hit. It was like a kind of hint.
It was just for us.
Yeah, it's for us. And later in the film, he noticed that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what did you think about Mr. Bindi trying to be the hero at the end? It's like, oh, now you're trying to save lives. Now you actually care.
I mean, he was on death's door anyway, so he didn't care at that point. He's like, yeah, whatever, I'm dying.
It's like, we're never gonna forget Mr. Bindi. So
I have a question about the ending, I guess. Probably missed it, but did they explain how the boys got out of the never-ending circle of them running and then ending back up at the thing?
not that I recall. It just left it as, we couldn't leave when we tried to that one day. So I feel like since it was,
well, they killed her.
Yeah, they did kill her and buried her. That's what.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
so
they could
that-
leave. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why is she coming back?
It's not her.
not. It's the daughter.
It's a daughter that comes back.
Yeah.
So the original black magic was the Miss thing to protect the girls. And then they killed her, so that ended that. But now it's the daughter later coming back and wanting to kill the orphans as revenge for.
Yeah.
Okay, so the mom is still in underneath.
Yeah,
the
So
floor.
did you think the mom was back too, Sam? That's what I thought.
I did, and then I thought I was kind of lost with that. I feel like I thought she was back, but then the daughter was also helping.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too.
Mm-hmm.
No, the mom was still dead. The mom never came back. Well, she did come back, I guess, right? Like sorta. Like
I think it's a manifestation of the daughter.
Okay. The daughter.
When we saw, oh, you think?
I think so. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because he's watching it on the screen, so she's using that as a manifestation to like scare him, and they each have their own, the girl who cuts her fat, the girl who like eats, they all have their own kind of bad thing that to represent them.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys talked about this when I was away, but what about the stapling of his mouth and then trying not to shoot the little kid? I was like, I was like, Todd's heart is probably aching at this little scene right here because he's like, no, it hurts, no.
I know, mommy.
So sweet.
Yeah, I loved all that, like the trickery, obviously, like especially like the cutting of the skin scene with that girl who like has the weight problem issues that she's dealing with or whatever. She like just starts cutting off her skin. I loved that scene. That was so cool.
But what about, let me know if anyone agrees with me. So they knew all the havoc that happened at that house.
Right.
Why would the husbands leave their children there with the wives trying to take them to go get medical care, knowing that it wasn't just going to be a 30-minute thing? Like, you're going to the hospital, wherever it may be at. Why would you leave your kids at this evil house?
Well,
is it because I'm now realizing it was the daughter and they didn't know that it was the daughter? They were like, but weird stuff was happening. So I would be like, oh shit, like it's back.
I mean, nothing like
it was weird.
Nothing extremely weird was happening yet. It was, they found like the dead kids.
What? She cut herself.
Did that happen already?
Chunks of her body.
That's why they're bringing
the
to
girl
hospital.
choked on the centipedes.
All right. Well, then, yeah. I mean, it was poor judgment because at that point they should have realized, like, hey, like something is wrong here. Like,
I could chalk it up to just adrenaline, right? You're thinking of the problem at hand and not the overarching problem. So that's one scene that I loved that was effective. I mean, my favorite scene was the one Joe mentioned with the TV and everything, but the bus scene also really got me. I thought that was super creepy, where the kids are all facing the other way, and then he comes off the bus and comes back on, and they're facing him, and it's just like, and his kill was pretty sick too.
Yeah, that was cool. Like, once again, though, the eyeball pop up was like done CGI. It just, that threw me off a little bit, but
me too. Everything else was it was viable. It was but that I'm just like, come on, you guys are doing better than this. Like, whose job was that? Like, they didn't show up for work that day.
Yeah. I mean, I chalk it up to like, I guess like, it's an Indonesian horror movie, so maybe their computer graphics over there aren't as like advanced yet, I guess.
And that's exactly, if you go back and listen to my what watched in January, that was exactly what I said, is that I think you guys would like it, but the CGI is spotty, and that's probably the biggest negative. But to me, like you said, Joe, yeah, it was obviously not the best, but it didn't bother me that much, because they don't use it that much. It's like they only used it when they needed to. They tried to do practical effects for the most of the film, but like the insects was tough, because how do you show an insect crawling inside your skin? You just can't,
I didn't think that looked bad at all, or the centipedes. It was just that eyeball, because I don't know, it just seemed like it was you had 3D glasses on and it was floating on top of the TV screen. But that was the only issue as far as CGI I had.
Yeah, I mean, the centipedes, like, you could tell they were CGI, but they didn't look like terrible. You're right about that. I thought
like dark.
The caterpillars were probably the worst, I think, in the CGI department. When she eats those like poisonous caterpillars, those looked fucking terrible. Like, I'm just like, just have her hold, like, it would look better if she was like holding those like fucking
gummy worms.
Gummy. I can't think of like what they are, but they're just like really like fluffy and like they're wire and you can like bend them or whatever, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, pipe cleaners?
Yeah, pipe
Dang,
cleaners, yeah.
Joe.
If she
Pipe
could have held
cleaners
like
from Dollar Tree?
yeah, like hold like fluffy pipe cleaners, they would have looked better than those fucking CGI caterpillars she was holding.
Come on, props department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I mean it was good. I like that they just
Yeah.
kept you guessing. Like obviously you're like, I did not see the child pornography thing like coming at all. Like until obviously she like finds the thing under his bed and pops it, and you're like, oh, okay, well that's sketchy. Was it necessary though? Like I mean, do you think it would have been better? Like it could have just been like we killed her and like they're exacting a revenge, or do you like that they went like that dark with it?
I thought the boys would have been like they had done something bad when they're younger, like raped somebody and
Mhm.
Yeah,
killed her. That's what I thought the story was going to.
I did too for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, better, worse. I don't know.
I think it was important to the story because that's what gave, like, at that point, you kind of feel for the little girls, you know, but while she's still the villain, you kind of feel for her because she kind of had a justifiable villainy. And that's what makes, you know, Mrs. Whatever, like, suddenly sympathetic. You know, that's the turning point for her, is she was actually the one trying to help the little girl. So I think it was important to the story. So I think it was a good thing. And I didn't see it coming either. That was one, because they found an album early in the film, but it was just a picture of the girl with the little girl, right? So I thought maybe that's all. Like, they wouldn't pull that same gag twice, but they do. And that's when, so I think it was important. It was a turning point in the film to me.
I was thinking that Mr. Bendy and the mom, like he raped the mom, and then the daughter was the result of that rape. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it wasn't that.
Yeah, and
No,
it wasn't. It was just she was a girl, one of the girls that
Mhm.
I liked the explanation that the other girl burnt herself to be unattractive to him. You know, I thought that was a powerful moment too. Like just that's how bad abuse is, that she's willing to scar herself for life just for it to stop. And that was a powerful moment too that
Mhm.
I definitely took notice of.
Do you think the daughter's dead? I mean, they cut off her head and she was able to attach her head back
Evil
on,
Dead style scene.
which was cool. That was a very cool scene.
That was cool, but that's why I'm confused, because I'm like, if she can come back practicing
Right.
black magic, why couldn't her mom?
Yeah, I
Well-
thought they're working together, like Sam said.
Like, because the mom was practicing black magic, so why is it she's just like in the floor and that was it?
I feel like we would have seen her more.
But the
though.
daughter could get her fucking head chopped off
Maybe she
and
perfected it.
burned.
You know?
She did, yeah. The mother was still like learning it, like
Yeah.
she hadn't perfected, but the daughter like had been doing it for the past 20 years, so she was like ultra powerful at
Okay.
that point.
I'll buy
Yeah.
it.
Mom was only doing it to protect the girls,
Right. Mm-hmm.
so she's not a villain in this.
No, she's just doing it to protect the little girls.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yep.
Mhm.
And they killed her because
Or you just fucking get a knife and slit the guy's throat. I mean, it's
yeah. But then you
do
go to
that.
jail.
Different culture.
Yeah.
I guess.
I didn't like that she wanted to kill the kids.
Yeah, her reasoning was what? Because you're
She had to
dad
make
killed
everyone
my
pay. Yeah.
mom.
Mm-hmm. It was just a complete revenge.
Yeah, but it's like then it's like it's I don't know.
She's
all
not better than
all
that.
slashers do it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Jason wants to kill everyone at camp. Michael kills anyone in that fucking
But
neighborhood.
then they're not suffering. Like no one's gonna suffer if you kill everyone. Like you have to leave someone so they're missing their parent.
Sam
or
wants the
missing their
psychological
kid.
damage
Well,
too.
yeah. She wants the full torture experience.
I think if she killed her husband and chopped his head off, I think she would have released. I kind of think she would have released her and the kids.
That was cool. I thought they were gonna go there. That was badass.
I did too. I thought that would have been cool too. But I think I would love to see a sequel. Honestly, I think it'd be cool, like to bring her back. I think they could totally make a franchise out of this. I'm actually surprised they haven't done an American remake. Like,
I don't think they need to.
'Cause
But
no one's watched it. That's
Right.
the unfortunate problem. Huh?
hey, I have a question real quick. Who was the girl that the husband removes out of the room, like she's crying when they cut the witch's head off. Who is that girl?
Oh, she's like her daughter, right? I think the one who like, yeah,
Like the
So we have
13-year-old or something?
grandma, daughter,
yeah,
and then granddaughter.
yes. That's
I
not-
don't remember her in the movie. Like
You don't know.
No, they kind of like really forced her in, and she was
Glossed over,
unnecessary.
yeah.
Very unnecessary
Oh, 'cause
character.
I was
There's a
like,
third.
who-
There's a third woman.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one that like after she cuts the head off, she like goes after and starts like punching.
She's like,
She's
Wait a
kind of like the
minute.
Guillermo of this. Like she's just
Yeah.
like I
No,
think
no,
she's
that- So I remember the girl. Okay, we got the wives that came with the men. Got those girls.
Mhm.
Then we have the girl with the disfigurement.
Yes,
There was another girl.
she
came
shows
in at
up.
the end.
She comes in at the end. She's wearing like a yellow dress.
I totally missed that then.
Yeah.
yeah, because I didn't notice her
Oh.
until she was in that room. I don't know if they showed her
They
another
don't.
time.
It's completely glossed over. She's just kind of there.
Well, now it kind of drops a point for me.
Well, you think
watched-
that she would have known black magic if her mom's been practicing for 20 years.
That's a fair argument.
Huh.
Mhm.
All right, so answer this.
Well, actually, what happened to her? I don't remember. Was she? Did
I
she
think
get
she
out?
burns in a fire.
Does she? Burn
No,
the fire too?
he pulled her out of the room.
Does he?
I don't remember
He
that.
grabs her and his wife runs out of the door and then he's grabbing
that's
her
right.
and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
they shut the
Ah.
door. That's when
So what
Bendy's
happened
like,
to her?
go.
We don't even find out.
Huh.
I guess they
Well-
just like save her and rehabilitate her.
They put her in a mental hospital or something. Maybe I don't know.
And then maybe she'll be practicing black magic and come after them.
Because they're all orphans, right? So
Yeah.
they're all.
That would actually be a perfect sequel setup. Is like have her being like the new like thing to revenge her mom. Now
It
But
could be.
Is the mom dead though? Like I don't think she is. Right? Like she's so
No.
fucking powerful. A little fire ain't gonna stop her.
Well, you see her at the end, so
Yeah, but that could also be excused as like a manifestation from the mom who's
Sure.
kind of like mentally fucking burned, you know?
I think it
So
was a
did,
sequel.
so did the boys take part in the molestations?
No.
No, they didn't
So
know.
why are they being punished?
They were
listening.
lied to.
because
yeah.
they killed
They went along and killed the
they didn't-
mom.
they killed and hit her.
Yeah.
That was their secret.
hmm They helped
But only
lock
because
her in
Mr.
the
Bendy
room.
told them,
That's a
like
gray
they
area.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They thought she was
Right,
bad.
that's a gray area right there.
Yeah, it is.
Mhm.
hmm It's just pure, just like, yeah, she's just,
Fucking
the dog-
Bendy, dude.
I mean, the dot.
Mastermind.
I mean,
Joe-
if it was your mom like, that got murdered, wouldn't you want like anyone that was involved in some way, somehow, like to like pay for it?
Yeah.
So like I can understand why she would do it, you know.
Yeah,
But
and
if
this,
you're a witch,
this is
wouldn't you
something
know?
that they cover in the original is that the Queen of Black Magic in that one was also for revenge of the guy that wronged her, but she became so crazy with power that she started kind of killing everyone. So I think the negative effect of the black magic is that you become like really crazy and wanting to really
And
use
very
like,
mean.
or kill people. So, yeah.
Super mean.
Mhm. And what
I'm
are
just-
those?
I'm
Sorry,
just
go
glad
ahead.
the rat wasn't shot at. That's all I care about.
And what were the guys doing at the very end? Like they're buying this orphanage, and what are they turning it into? Because they mentioned
Fucking
something about like
club or
a
some
New
shit.
Year's party or something.
Well, that's Bendy's kids. Because remember at the beginning, they're like, his kids aren't there and they're just going to sell the house, but they don't need the money because they're
Ah.
already
They want to make it a resort.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they mentioned that in the
Okay, I missed that part.
That was kind of a weird scene. Do they need that scene?
No.
maybe they're setting
No.
up the sequel, right?
Yeah,
I think
just
they are
knowing
setting
that
up the
they're
sequel,
still
yeah.
Because they show that
Evil.
they I think it's the last shot where they show the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's setting up the sequel.
What about the van full of dead kids?
Oh, cops probably just dealt with that at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
still a good watch, though.
So
hell
good
yeah.
watch, yeah. Steve, did your liking go down at all from
Nope.
second watch?
No, actually, I enjoyed it just as much. Like I have the same score I did in January. Like there are issues, but overall, I really liked it. Like as a horror film, I really enjoyed it.
It is
was-
a great horror film. Like it's just straight horror. Like it's got everything.
Right.
Well, we ready to rate it?
Sure.
Lead it
give
off,
my-
Steve.
I'll give mine first. So same thing. I gave it a 9 out of 10. I take off points for CGI, some of the muddled storylines, like the girl that kind of comes in for nothing at the end. But I really enjoyed this one, and the fact that it holds up after 2 watches now is a testament to how good of a horror film it is. So 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's great. It's a fun time. It's got all the horror elements in there that you want in a horror movie. And I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Very solid. It's definitely in my top 10 currently for the year. Probably sitting at number 3. So yeah.
This is tough. I really liked it, even though I was picking it apart. I just had questions. That's all. I thought everyone did a great job as far as acting wise too. Like they really did a good job. So I am also going to give it an 8, I think. Unless Todd rates it lower, then it might make me change my mind.
It's a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd for me.
Oh, I was like, oh shit.
But now that we talked about it, it kind of lowered for me. I missed a lot of things, and I kind of gave it a disservice too. I watched it all on my phone.
Oh, Todd, no.
And this was not a good movie to watch on your phone.
No, I feel like that would have been hard to see everything.
Yeah, that's
Over
one
2
thing.
days, yeah.
I watched it at night on TV, and that I think was
That
Should've done
helps.
that.
Yeah, we watched
That
it in the
helped a lot.
daytime, but I would think at night it would be even.
At night, it would
yeah.
be
So-
good.
So I watched it on a tiny screen over a 2-day period. So that definitely affects. You can't. It's like watching Conjuring on a phone. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Exactly, over 2 days. Yeah.
Over 2
Yeah.
days, because you're already out of it, and it's like, oh, do I have to finish this?
So my original score for it was a 7.75 out of 10. So not too low compared to you guys. But this will be one I revisit before the end of the year list on a proper screen in the dark for sure.
Yeah.
But I was seriously grossed out though by some of those scenes. So that was good. Good stuff.
Awesome.
And
Yep.
I have a recommendation for if you want to check out another great Indonesian horror movie. I highly recommend Impedagore. I actually talked about
director.
it on the live stream.
Impedagore.
Is it the same director? I had no idea. Wow.
I'm
Interesting.
almost sure it is.
Wow.
No, Shutter?
Wow.
That makes a lot of sense now that I can definitely see the comparisons.
Shutter or no?
I believe it is on Shutter, Impedagore. Yep.
Oh, no, not interested. I saw Impedagore something, so there's a link somehow, but I'll let you know.
Okay. Impedagore is definitely available. I feel like
Yeah, it's on Shutter.
it is. Yeah. I highly recommend it. It is very good.
Yoko Anwar. That's a director for the Impedagore.
Oh, he wrote this one,
Okay.
so it's
cool.
the same writer.
Very cool.
Yeah, so next week we're gonna do Army of the Dead over on
boy.
Netflix. Super excited about it. I have low expectations to be honest, but I'm
I
still
might go see
excited
it in
to
the
watch
theater.
it.
I might
really?
go see it in the theater, yeah.
Wait, what are we doing?
Army of the Dead.
Sam is not excited for this one.
I'm not.
You're
but
gonna
I'll-
watch it and you're gonna
I'll
like
still
it.
I'll still be along for the
I
ride.
think it'll be
Get
fun
yourself a-
popcorn flick.
Get
You
yourself
might
a
enjoy
BLT,
it. Yeah.
Get some
Who's in it?
nachos.
Is there any?
Dave
Are there any
Bautista.
cute people?
Batista, the wrestler.
Ugh.
It's gonna be. It's the same director that did Dawn of the Dead. You love Dawn of the Dead.
Okay,
So-
I'll enjoy it for the zombies.
I think it'll be like very stylistic too, right?
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay.
He loves
Great.
slow
Alright.
motion. He loves slow motion.
Oh, oh yeah. Probably fucking 20% of the film will be slow motion.
I remember Dawn of the Dead remake has a slow motion of a toilet being thrown through a
Right.
window.
Oh, you love the slow motion.
He does.
At worst, there'll be like some cool action scenes at least.
Wait, isn't there a tiger in this?
Yeah, zombie tiger.
Yeah.
It's Vegas, baby.
I was gonna say the fact that it's in Vegas makes me a little excited for it because I think that will be like bring some like cool stuff.
And if
like,
they're trying to
involved.
aren't they trying to rob a bank or get
Yeah.
money
Yeah,
or
it's a
something?
heist movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is, yeah.
Heist zombie.
It's like
popcorn flick.
Ocean's 11 with zombies. I mean,
Right.
Okay.
sounds cool. Yeah.
As long as Joe buys me nachos, I'll be fine.
There you go.
Are we
Oh,
gonna
there's
go?
some nachos.
Are we gonna see it in theaters, or are we just gonna watch it at home on Netflix?
If we watch it at home, Joe, I'm gonna be multitasking and doing laundry.
Okay. All right, we'll go
Theater
see it in
it
theater.
is.
We'll do it for theater.
What are
We'll
you
go see
guys
it in-
doing? Steve's probably watching it at
I don't
home.
have a choice.
Band. Yeah.
What's Todd gonna do?
It's playing in theaters. I really want to go try and see it in theaters.
You should. You
We'll
need to go see it.
Yeah, but then it's on Netflix. So
Oh, it's on Netflix?
Yeah.
yes, it'll be on Netflix on Friday, or
Okay.
it's in theaters right now.
Okay,
I'll let you
I'll
pick,
see.
Sam. Will your ears be able to handle it? Because you were even covering yours during when we went and saw Spiral the other day.
As long as we don't see it in the IMAX theater, I'll
Yeah.
be fine.
You can make some
Okay.
nachos at home.
That's true.
Get
Wait,
a
so
little
when are you
soda.
guys gonna watch it?
Friday for me.
Yeah,
Friday,
probably Friday.
Steve?
Friday
Okay,
or
maybe
Saturday.
I'll wait to hear what you guys think if I should watch it at home or not.
Okay.
Or maybe I'll just watch it on my phone while I'm working out.
No.
Over 3 days.
Uh-huh.
To be fair, though, I did watch The Dark and the Wicked for the first time on my phone, and I loved it, like, just as equally.
Spoiler: I watched most of them on my phone.
Yeah, I do. I watch a lot of them on my phone too, because
Yeah.
I usually watch it when I'm like working out.
Yeah, I usually watch them in like 20-minute increments. So
Mhm.
if it's like a scary movie, it kind of or a suspense, it loses a lot.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely does lose a little on your phone for sure.
All right. Well, don't forget our interview right after this with Matt
Yes.
Mercer and Mike Teston for Dementia 2. Great interview. They're awesome guys. So, like true
They really
horror
were.
fans.
Yeah.
It was a good interview that I don't think I said one word in. So
No, you-
I took a picture to prove I was there, but that's I had like severe allergies on the weekend,
Oh,
so I
no.
could. I still do now, but it's a little better.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe
Bye.
you might hear your laugh once or twice. Maybe.
Maybe a cough or a sneeze
No,
or a
I
sniffle.
think I'm on mute the whole time. I
Yeah.
just listen to Joe kill it there.
Oh,
Yeah, it was actually our first interview we ever did all on video too, which was cool. I believe,
Nice.
right?
For us, yeah.
For us,
Mal
yeah.
and Barrow's on video,
Right,
And I think that's
and-
when we realized that maybe we should be on video too.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
I think we'll do video going forward, though.
Yeah, no, it was great for that. For it, it's great to see like everyone, and it helps. So,
Absolutely.
Mhm.
All right.
all right, bye. Enjoy the
Bye.
interview.
Bye. Join us on Discord. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Reshare this podcast. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your loved ones, tell your pets.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast, where today we are joined by two special guests. They are the writers and directors of Dementia Part 2, which will be hitting select theaters on May 21st and will be hitting VOD, digital HD, and DVD on June 1st. Matt Mercer and Mike Teston. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. I hope I pronounced your names right. How you doing?
You
Yeah, thank you
did.
for having us.
All
Thank
right,
you for
awesome.
having us. Got it right.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So why don't you just start off by telling our listeners what Dementia Part 2 is about?
Sure. So Dementia Part 2 is about an ex-con named Wendell. He's a parolee. I play him in the movie. This is Matt, by the way. And to keep his parole in order, he's got to get a job so he doesn't go back to jail. And he gets a job as a handyman. And his first assignment is at this house that an elderly woman lives in, played by Suzanne Voss. And he gets there, and it seems like it's going to be a pretty simple job. She's a little off kilter, a little strange, and then he begins to discover strange things around the house, and from there it takes a very sinister turn. And she seems to be affected by something akin to dementia. And as the movie goes on, it's something potentially much worse. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. Yeah. That's definitely a good place to end it there. Now, I had actually never seen Dementia, so I went back and checked it out before doing this interview, and it is a very different movie than Dementia Part 2. So I got to ask, why the big change, I guess, from Part 2 to Part 1?
Yeah, well, first, I after we made it, I remember thinking how funny it would be to if someone were to have like a double feature and they're watching these two back to back, they have no idea of the tonal shifts.
Mhm.
For some reason I found that so humorous, but I don't know. I guess the idea was that when we got the concept to do the challenge to do Dementia 2, the main thing, certainly for me, was to do a 180 on the tone and make sure we put ourselves in a position to where we could, because of the limited time and the resources and the other struggles of trying to make a feature film in 5 weeks from zero, that the big thing for us would be to put us in a position where we were going to enjoy the process. And I know from working with Matt numerous times that the way we enjoy making stuff together is typically through comedy and typically through awkward scenario comedy. And so we just kind of lean into that and put our gags and gross out gags and things like that, embedded that stuff into there. So, we went into it with like early Peter Jackson, early Sam Raimi, Corman, Romero, Twilight Zone, all those things, just kind of throwing them all into the blender and seeing what we could kind of come up with and leaving room for experimentation on set,
I think so was it intentional for, I feel like the houses looked extremely similar.
Yeah.
Now, are they set in the exact same house?
It's not the same house.
Okay.
But we did want to have, if it could happen, we wanted to have a craftsman like the first one. We were just on such a tight budget. I mean, you get in a situation where beggars can't be choosers. So we would have taken just about anything, but it happened to land that we did get the craftsman that we wanted, even though it's a pretty crazy story in how we ended up there.
All right, very cool.
Yeah.
And why the shift from color to black and white with this one?
Again, leaning into the aspect of wanting it to feel like a Twilight Zone episode made by Roger Corman and written by Tennessee Williams or something, with, just having that kind of sweaty Southern vibe a little bit. I mean, even though this is in Los Angeles, but just leaning into those aspects. And also on the technical end, having more room to play in terms of believability with gross out effects, blood, puke, and all the stuff that's in there, all the goo. And we both like the idea of the black goo, which, I mean, I guess you can do in color as well, but for some reason in black and white, I feel like it hits a little bit harder.
It did. It certainly did. It was very effective. There's definitely some gross stuff in this for the listeners who have not seen it yet. Now, Matt, you star in this, and so was that always the plan for you to kind of star and co-direct?
Not initially. I think it was more born out of just because, again, like Mike said, the nature of how this movie came together and how it was made, which I can talk about if we want to clarify that. But,
sure, yeah, absolutely.
Well, so what happened on this was I was at a film festival in the UK called Fright Fest with a short film I had made, and I ran into a producer that Mike and I have both worked with frequently named JD Lifshitz, who's one of the partners at Boulder Light Pictures, and he had a drink with a guy named Josh Goldblum, who runs another film festival, and Josh had an empty slot in his festival still, and he basically dared JD to get a film made to fill that slot in about 30 days, because we couldn't start making Dementia 2 until they announced the schedule of Josh Goldblum's film festival. So JD came to Mike and I to make the film, and the only mandate was it needed to be called Dementia Part 2, which we thought was very funny. We were fine with that. So we started making it. And in terms of, so the question was, how did I get or how did I end up doing the role, right?
Right. Was it always like the plan? Yeah.
It kind of just had to be, because Mike and I, when writing it, because we wrote it in about 3 days, we knew that what my strengths and weaknesses were as an actor, and also it saved us having to hire another actor, because really we wrote it in 3 days, prepped for a week, shot it in 5 days, and then edited it and showed it. The whole thing was at tops 5 weeks or 30, 35 days, something like that. So it was just like, bam, we made it really fast. And I think when Mike was talking about the Roger Corman, making it like a Corman movie, that was born out of the fact that Corman made all of his films in the 60s in 4 or 5 days. It was like, well, if he did that, we can do this. It's just a matter of single location, black and white, getting your friends together, people you trust, who you know will understand the tone. And I think we knew that between me doing the Wendell role, this is the kind of role I can do pretty well. Just an everyman getting assaulted from all sides is kind of something I can do pretty well. It happened to me in Contracted 2 and this, I mean, it's just what I can do. So, and then we just got Najara on board because we knew her from the Contracted films. We've both worked with her countless times. Same with Graham. I mean, they're all friends, Suzanne. So we just said, do you want to do this with us? And I think sent them the script the night before they started shooting. So it was really madcap. Also, the other reason, I guess it was good for me to play. I hadn't even thought about this until now, or we hadn't talked about it in a while. It was helpful for me to play the lead because the principal photography was 4 days. We shot almost everything in 4 days, and then we did pickups to fill in the gaps. And since I was co-directing and co-producing, I was going to be there anyway, so I could just be in a scene. It was like, we don't, just fill in the gaps. Oh, there's, you have one of your actors at least. So that was it. It's a long-winded answer, but that's why I played the role. And Mike and I have a similar sense of humor. We just, yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you brought up the cast, because it's a small cast, but I mean, everybody is just great in it. I mean, it's great performances all throughout. And I feel like just the chemistry was there. Can you talk about, the chemistry on set and the rest of the cast, especially, of course, Suzanne Voss, who just gives an amazing just performance in this.
Yeah. Well, the chemistry, again, we all knew each other and trust each other. So part of that is because we're friends. I think there was, the trust was already built. So some of the chemistry was already there on those terms. Like Suzanne and I weren't worried about, Mike had shot a short film. That's how we met her, called The Salesman, which is very similar in tone to Dementia 2. It's black and white and very off kilter. And then Suzanne played my grandmother in a movie called Contracted Phase 2. And so I already knew her from that. And she clearly is very committed no matter what the circumstances are, because there was some pretty ribald stuff she had to do in that. So when we got into this, we just, we knew that there was already a comfort there. But the first scene, I will say, the first scene we shot on this was this CPR scene where I had to do mouth to mouth with Suzanne, and it's the most unpleasant version of CPR you can imagine. Not that CPR is pleasant to begin with, because someone's dying, but it's the most unpleasant version of CPR you can imagine. And I don't want to spoil anything or give too much away, but we just had to do it. And Suzanne was totally on board and cool. And we just had to take a breath and go, "You good? Yeah, I'm good. You good? Yeah, I'm good." Bam, jump in. And it worked. So I think a lot of it, again, to get back to the point, just was born out of they're friends. We all trust each other and love each other already, and just had a good time.
Awesome. Now, acting, writing, directing, I mean, is there any you prefer over the other, or one that you just are kind of like, I mean, I'm doing it, but
they all scratch different itches.
Right.
Directing, I really enjoy, because you are, and Mike can elaborate on his take on this too, but I like directing because you're guiding the story. A film is definitely a collaborative medium, but you are visually and guiding the story and giving it a vibe visually and audibly. Acting is just such an immediate thing. One thing I like about film acting is that it scratches the itch of, you can be so subtle. Like I started in stage work and then moved into film, always with I always wanted to do film above theater work, which most actors probably wouldn't say, but I love it because it's so subtle and you can be so small and really explore minutia, really small stuff. But they scratch different itches because acting is very immediate and you're a conduit for the story. Whereas with directing, you're pushing the story and guiding it. So I think right now, though, I'm really enjoying directing things.
Awesome.
Mike?
I mean, I guess what I like about directing is sort of the combination of all the elements involved, meaning the actors and the script and the set and the camera work and the lens choices and camera movement. And then once you get into post, combining that with the music and everything else that's happening, it's just a giant coming together of things. And if you can have those in your head as you're pushing through the actual shooting of it, it's just rewarding to see at the end of it if it all came together. I mean, most of the time it probably doesn't, but when it does all come together in the way that you think is works, then it's such a rewarding process. And in terms of like the writing and stuff, that's kind of a fun thing you get to do for unlimited hours, and you get to just create scenarios that amuse you. So that's what I like about that process. It can be stressful in the sense of writer's block and pushing through that kind of thing, but once you get rolling on writing, I feel like it's super such a satisfying experience to get say you make 10 pages in a day. That feels so good. And maybe those 10 pages turn out to be crap and they never see the light of day, but in the day they're great.
Yeah, it really is so many elements coming together. The other job that I've come to really enjoy is editing, which I only started to do in the last few years because I had to get things done. You start having to edit your own stuff due to budget limitations or whatever. And I learned how to edit several years ago for my first film, and I've come to really like editing. I think it's become my day job. It's how I make money, my paycheck job during the day when I'm not making a movie. And I like it because you see all of those elements that Mike was just talking about, how they came together, and then you're making choices based on that confluence. And I really like that too. Because, I know it's an old adage, but movies are made, what is it, 3 times in the writing, in the production or direction, and then in the edit. And it really is made in the edit in terms of what visuals you marry to sound.
Yeah.
And I think that's become something I really enjoy because production is so stressful. There are days of glory, like Mike said, where you're like, oh my God, I can't believe we pulled off 10 pages or 15 pages like we had to do on this movie in a day. And I can't believe how well all those elements came together, and everybody's contributions are so good, but so many days on production are so painful too.
So many of them are just really about survival.
Yes. You're just surviving. But in the edit, even if you have to edit something pretty quickly, you're in a room and you're sort of looking at everything, and you're with, someone, Mike and I were cutting this together. You're hanging out, and really it's fun it's like putting together a really fun jigsaw puzzle, And then you watch the first cut though, and then you watch the assembly and you're like, what have I done? What is this shit?
Well, I heard you say, obviously filmmaking can be stressful. Were there any, scenes while filming this that, was tough to get, or any sequence in particular?
Oddly, I mean, I think that's, I mean, there, of course, there's always struggles with, mostly with time.
Yeah.
But some technical hiccups, especially with sound on 2 days where our sound friend could not be there. So we were relying on, um, other friends to kind of help us out and fill in the gaps, but they're not sound people. So we're putting a lot of pressure on them to try to figure this out for us.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I don't recall having, I think that's the miracle of what this thing was. I don't recall anything being all that stressful or all that difficult. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
It just kind of rolled out before us, and we were just, going from one thing to the next and just giggling.
Yeah, there was nothing debilitating in production. I think everything was pretty solved. I mean, you're going to run into problems, but everything was pretty solvable.
Yeah, in the pre-production, maybe it's different.
Yeah. No, that's it. Yeah. Did you want to say more? That's where more of the stress was.
That's like so much of your story is dealing with the things that I didn't deal with, which was like the house and all that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Pre-production was much more stressful than production. Again, we made this so quickly and we prepped. It was only about a week. Mike was prepping. Mike's prep mostly involved the camera and lighting department. And a lot of that stuff he just had to sort of organize exactly what we were going to use as the package on this movie. For me, it was props, actors, contracts, location. The biggest stress in pre-production was location. And we had a Airbnb initially. It's impossible to find a location this fast, but in Los Angeles. But basically, I had rented an Airbnb, and that's very in Los Angeles. People don't want to rent out Airbnbs for films because they're wise to it, and you can get a lot more money as a location rental. But I found this guy who was super cool, and he said, "Yeah, you can shoot at my place. That's great." I was like, "What? This is amazing." So we were going to shoot there. It was a perfect house. And then the day before we were going to shoot, he called me and said, I should have told you, by the way, we're going to be jackhammering the sidewalk on Tuesday.
Oh God.
Hope that's okay. And I said, oh my God, no. And I just panicked because that was it. It was like, oh my God, all of a sudden I have to find another place because you can't shoot during jackhammering. It would ruin the audio recording. So I suddenly had to find a new place. It was like, we're either going to be shooting in my apartment or Mike's apartment, or I guess I could call my buddy Rob, who just bought a fixer-upper, like an old Craftsman house that he just finished renovating in Mid-City, and see if he'll let us shoot there. But that's insane. This is not going to happen. And I called him and I said, Rob, I know you said when you bought this house, you were never going to shoot anything there, because he also works in production. And I remember him saying to me, no one's ever going to shoot anything here, ever, because productions tend to damage things. Yeah, and it's his baby. And I was like, but I am desperate. I just lost my location and we're about to shoot a movie. And he said, oh, it's all good. Tell me about it. And I said, well, it's very limited crew. It's just a couple of actors on any given day. 2-3 crew people. We're doing this in a very contained way. And he said, well, when do you shoot? And I said, we start tomorrow at 8 a.m. And he said, what? And I was like, I know. And for some reason he agreed to it. Obviously we paid him a small location fee, but to just suddenly ask for that is ridiculous. And he is a saint for letting us do that. And then of course we show up after I said, it's very low key. We show up and we have gallons of blood and effect stuff and tons of equipment, and it's just, but we did manage to keep the place pretty tidy. We didn't really damage anything. So
awesome. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, that's how we found the location. It was my buddy Rob saving us. And beautiful house. I mean, the house is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. So obviously you guys are, neither one of you are strangers to the horror genre, of course. What would you say, gravitates you to the genre and continue to stay within it?
Well, for me, I guess I would say that it's such a within it, it's sort of a you can do anything within it. It's sort of a blank slate where you can amplify any sort of atmosphere or whatever idea you're trying to push across. It can happen in horror or a subgenre of horror, and it's so immediate, and it's what am I trying to say? It's just instinctual. Everything can come across immediately. You don't have to process it necessarily. You can process deeper elements of it later if you'd like, but as you're watching it, it's just hits you right the way you want it to. Whereas in other genres, it's sort of something you have to really fight to get in different ways, and I don't think it's quite as effective. I know I rambled there, but
No, it's good.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The only thing I would add to that, well, I grew up, for starters, I think the easy answer is I grew up loving horror as a kid. It's all I wanted to do. And I was one of those weird, rare actors when I first moved to Los Angeles and I was trying to get cast and stuff. I would pursue horror auditions and work harder at those because it's all I wanted to do was be in a horror movie. I just wanted to be like Bruce Campbell or Jeffrey Combs. Like those are my idols and heroes. And I just grew up loving horror, everything from Dante to Carpenter to Romero. I mean, all the 70s and 80s classic directors. But I also agree with Mike that horror is much more direct and primal. It usually doesn't beat around the bush. And you really, the stakes are very high. The stakes are always life and death. And it's just fun. It's just fun. It's just fun to get out a bunch of intestines and throw them in people's faces. And then, I guess the more erudite answer would be that it's also a really great slate for social ills and analogies and themes. Like you really can express your take on what's happening in the world at the time. I think horror has always been a mirror for whatever social injustice or social injustice might be too specific. Whatever social thing is rocking the world at the moment is generally reflected in horror. I mean, the first one I think of, I guess off the top of my head, is Last House on the Left. Like Wes Craven was always really good at that. He was always, as was Romero, really all of the directors, Carpenter. But the first one that I think of is Last House on the Left, which honestly it's not one of my favorite horror movies, but it's very much a reflection of Vietnam. We were coming out of Vietnam. It's a reflection of that. Same with Night of the Living Dead in terms of Vietnam and also race. I mean, horror is something that has always been a mirror and a reflection of society and something that gets people thinking. And it's so accessible. Everyone loves horror, right? Great date movie. Horror always
and it doesn't have to hit you over the head with it.
Exactly. Right. Good point. It's not in your face, like, here's our message. It's still a good ride. You're still getting a ride. Yeah. Good point. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that's, a pretty good way to wrap it up. For sure. But before we let you guys go, is there anything else you got coming out or anything else you guys would like to promote? Obviously, Dementia Part 2. Everyone make sure to go check that out.
Yeah. Dementia Part 2 is really the thing right now. It's been a long road for the movie, and we're very fortunate that Dark Star Pictures and we're fortunate that Dark Star Pictures and Bloody Disgusting saw the potential in it and are putting it out. And I would say, if anything, if I'm not to beat a dead horse, but the Blu-ray is going to be really cool. I would recommend getting the Blu-ray because we're doing a lot of like special features. We did a commentary and some behind the scenes stuff that I think is neato. Yeah.
Very good.
Neato. Yeah, that's what neato.
Awesome. All right, guys. Talk to you later.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
All right,
you.
bye.
Talk to you.
Bye.
See ya. Where's that handsome devil?
Gentlemen, the extreme! It's the extreme!